underground, where are you now? Subtract my age from the mileage on my speeding heart. Credit cards, accelerate, accumulate. Looked for you downtown, wound up in a movie with no story. Now it's late and you are nowhere to be found. Hesitation's always mine. Hesitate outside the times. With all I don't say, with all I don't do, I'm sending you invitations to hesitate to. Every 10-year-old enemy soldier thinks falling bombs are shooting stars sometimes, but she doesn't make wishes on them. When she wishes for less ways to wish for, more ways to work toward it. 10-year-old enemy soldier, our falling bombs are her shooting stars. Hesitation's always mine. Hesitate outside the times. Oh, call me or drop me a line. Say you've been with me. Say you've been with me. Say you've been with me this whole time. Old world underground, I never knew you, but I've seen your face everywhere there was a farm. Before we tore the small town down, multiply, divide. There's no way out. The to give in. When there's no way out, the only way out is to give in. How I love to. How I love to. How I love to give in. Here no one sleeps, one lays up while the other lies down. Where no one sleeps, one lays up while the other lies down. Ask the line on your face, what the line on your hand meant. We couldn't see what was coming. Sickness was fixing me some. Coughed out my heart in the last stall. Now that the damage is done, I never miss it at all. To drive to work to pay for this car. Buy this car to drive to work to work.
Welcome to the Yellow Brick Road. I'm Jordan, and tonight... Oh wait, James is here. Doing something. Nothing. Yeah. And I'm here to talk about Rashida Tlaib and Ilhan Omar. Tlaib? I probably said that wrong. Tlaib and Ilhan Omar. Being restricted from going to Israel. But there's more to the story. Also, Tim Pool's reaction to that story. I'm also going to go over Christ versus Steven Crowder. Let's see if Christ can change his mind. But first, please consider donating to Devon's Journey to Recovery. The GoFundMe link is down there. Description box. Click that link, read the story, and then donate. It does not go to us. It's only for charity. It helps someone else out, because we don't have free healthcare in this country. Free. No out-of-pocket costs. How about that? So please donate. Devon's Journey to Recovery. GoFundMe link is down there. Down there. Why does it seem like the camera's mirrored? Maybe it is a mirror. Whatever. Confuses me. Alright. So we have Tim Pool here. And but when the story first broke that Rashida and Ilhan would be blocked from going into Israel because of their views or whatever, I was like, man, I wonder what Tim Pool will say about this, if he says anything at all. Because usually it's when these guys look like the bad guys, when Rashida and Ilhan and AOC, maybe even Bernie Sanders or any Democrat, if they look bad, that's when he does the story. But when they look like the victim, he might skip over that story, or he might turn it around to make them the ones to blame. And that's what he's going to do here. There's no surprises. Let's go right into it. Here's Tim Pool talking about Ilhan Omar, Rashida Tlaib being blocked from going into Israel.
Israel is blocking Ilhan Omar and Rashida Tlaib from entering the country over their support for the Boycott, Divestment, and Sanctions movement, also known as BDS. Now, interestingly, some people have said Israel was actually going to allow them in up until pressure from Donald Trump. And sure enough, early this morning, Trump did tweet out that Israel would be weak if they allowed Rashida Tlaib and Ilhan Omar to enter the country.
Now, something tells me Trump wouldn't call Israel weak. If he would take it back and spin it around in some way. You'd say it would look weak. You wouldn't be weak, it would just look weak. We don't want you to look weak because Israel's beautiful. Right? The angry tweets from Trump? They hate Israel. And it's like, why am I supposed to care so passionately about that? It's because, I don't know, people maybe he works for are very passionate about it. So he wants his constituents, his followers, his fanboys to do the same. Which I don't think is flying too much. But at least, the Tim Pool section of Trump fans, they're in that boat. They're in the pro-Israel, no matter what boat, it seems like. So, let's continue.
My understanding as of now, and we'll go through the story, is that Netanyahu is saying they will be allowed in for humanitarian reasons to visit family if that's what they choose to do. But essentially, there's concern that they're going to come to Israel to try and further the BDS movement. Now, here's the thing. There's always been...
Further the BDS movement? Or, all right. I would say maybe promote it. Maybe. Might not even do that, but whatever, fair game.
This debate has been ongoing between the left and the right and everybody else as to whether or not these women are anti-Semites or just critical of Israel. I have certainly talked with people who say it is not anti-Semitic to criticize Israel. For that, I agree. Based on the statements made by Rashida Tlaib and Ilhan Omar, I think they have gotten really close to being anti-Semitic in their statements, but haven't actually made overtly anti-Semitic comments. However...
Remember, he says that. I believe the video before when he's talking about Ilhan Omar, he said she's almost close to the surface of anti-Semitism. Just keep that in mind.
In their statements, but haven't actually made overtly anti-Semitic comments. However, based on the company they keep and the people they support, I really do believe they don't like Jewish people.
Now that's a mighty statement to make, right? The SJWs, like they anyone who's a minority they look after. But in this case, he's sort of flipping it to where they're the racists, right? They just don't like Jewish people. And I'll give him some room. Let's see what happens.
It goes beyond Israel, okay? And that's the big argument. They're criticizing Israel, sure, but there's a lot to dig through. And one of the big criticisms is, why always Israel? And that's a legitimate question. I gotta say, one of the things that annoys me more than anything else in the world are these anti-Semitic conspiracy theories that get pushed by people like Ilhan, Omar, Rashida, Tlaib, and then they dance around the issue by saying it's just Israel, but then you look at who they hang out with and the conspiracy theories they push, and I think what they're actually doing is targeting Israel specifically because it's the only real state that Jewish people have. But
so if you can tell he's wholesale ignorant about this entire topic, about what Ilhan and Rashida have said or done. I think he's really just spitballing here. I think he's just going off of what the perception is and then making a story around that. They must be anti-Semitic because there's so many people calling them out for that. But what Tim has no clue about is, AIPAC, Israeli lobby. Later in this video, he brings up the ADL as saying, like, even the ADL criticized him for criticizing Israel. It's like, now people have looked into this type of stuff. Is like, what? Of course they did. We know what the Anti-Defamation League is all about. But Tim doesn't realize that he hasn't done the homework to understand why an organization like the ADL would criticize someone who criticizes Israel. He just thinks, oh, the ADL is far left. Rashida Tlaib and Ilhan Omar are far left. So they must be anti-Semitic if even those guys are criticizing him. It's like, so people who are up on this know this guy has no fucking clue what he's talking about. Yet he's still talking about it. And also the bubble he's in, when you read the comments in these videos, they're just, they're propping it up. They're giving him positive feedback in the sense of, they're even saying he's not going far enough. But here we go.
my opinion, that's just my opinion. Let's read the news, and I'll show you some of the legitimate criticisms and how I feel that, I actually think they're anti-Semites. Now, the other question is whether or not they should have been barred. In that regard, I think, honestly, the answer is no. They should be allowed to come in. Look.
So, just so you know, that's about 30 seconds of this 24-minute video. 30 seconds is about them being banned, and the rest is basically him convincing his audience or convincing anyone that will watch that they are anti-Semitic, that they don't like Jews because they don't like Jews. Nothing about healthy criticisms of Israel, or he has no idea what the healthy criticism would be. He's just reading the perceptions of other people and going off of that. Like, man, a lot of people are calling this anti-Semitic. I'm going to call it anti-Semitic without realizing all the information that normal motherfuckers are looking into, which is why they don't call these guys anti-Semitic. Now, I definitely think they have a personal bias against Israel, but I don't think they hate Jewish people. I think that's what I meant. Israeli government. Just like people have a bias against the American government without hating Americans. Look at that. Fucking magic. Hey, Ruben. James is, he's got a slap a hoe, so. That sounds like a Native American tribe. Slap a hoe.
Slap a hoe.
Slap a hoe. So yeah, Tim's just going off perceptions. And it's the best he can do. Not, sort of like special needs almost. Special needs for journalism. It's like, all right, you tried, buddy. It's what you do. You live off the perceptions of people, and you follow the news that way. Like he says in some of his videos, I'm looking through hundreds of news stories every day. Yet this is what you come out with, which means you aren't looking at real news stories.
He's piss poor.
Huh?
He's piss poor.
Yeah. I thought you were going to say financially poor. I'm like, what? What James means is he sucks at journalism. He's very bad at it. Google just bought DuckDuckGo. And the monopoly grows. Nothing to see over here, folks. It's your friendly neighborhood Google Center. That's right. We're going to implant chips so you have a faster interface. Thank you, Elon Musk. Hey, Ruben, did you hear the part where Tim says, even the ADL criticized Ilhan Omar and Rashida Tlaib. Fuck, I can't say her name. ADL is far left, and they're even criticizing them. It's like, whoa. You are completely ignorant on this topic. Completely. And the thing is, he won't go and look into it because he has this fan base that will feed him on loop that these guys are bad, they're bad leftists, socialists, and they hate Israel. There's a lot of that in the comment section. A lot of, it seems like, heavy Israel support. And it's like, whoa, this dude does not know his own fan base. It's very interesting. It's actually getting the most likes of the comments. And I might show a couple. Jonas Salk was a Jew and good friend of the first Prime Minister of Israel, David Ben-Gurion. Vaccines just made more sense to me. Let's see if there's any weird comments here. Then I'll move on because the Crowder one is going to be a pretty long segment. I have to move from video to video. Can you see that? Alright, you should be able to see that. I'll make it larger. Also, there was a part where Tim was like, all they do is criticize Israel. And I'm just like, meh. Why is it always Israel? See, look at this tweet from Ilhan Omar. Let's read this. Real quick, let's read this. The Israeli government might have been strategic at covering up the daily atrocities carried out against minorities, women, activists, and even the Palestinian genocide. But the murder of Hamas should be the last evil act they are allowed to commit. Hashtag BDS Israel. Hashtag murdered Palestinians. Right? I read that correctly? That's what the words say on the screen, right? It looks like it says that. Maybe I don't know. So all they criticize is Israel, so, What's up, Marshall Villager? Ruben Garcia, Tim Fool says the ADL is far left because they pretend to hate Trump. Marshall Villager says, eat the rich. Ew. But Jesus says, blessed are the poor. Or blessed are the meek. Wolfgang Felix says, Uncle Tom's Cabin. I'm guessing that's some sort of racial thing. We got a thing you can call in with. Get wrecked on there. You go to, our email is the grocery list. I have to type it in.
Whoever said that, you can actually call in and we can actually have a conversation.
Your mic's not on, dipshit.
Oh, I know. You said it was on?
I turned it off because it was picking up the audio. if you'd like to call in through Google Hangouts, the email is thegrocerylist132112@gmail.com.
You know what's funny? They never say anything really racial when I'm like, if I'm in the fucking picture.
Ruben Garcia says Jonas Salk was the man who helped create the polio vaccine during the 1950s, and ever since has been used to promote vaccine propaganda by claiming it stopped the polio epidemic. I did not know that. Wolfgang Felix says, save the rich white people, kill everyone else. Ruben Garcia, Jews don't identify as white. Isn't it, there's like Ashkenazi and different things? I don't fucking know, man. Pyramid 7, what's up, man? Long time no see. Oh, guys, don't forget to tune in tomorrow on our second channel for UFC 241, Cormier vs. Stipe. I hope Pyramid can make that one. Talking shit with your boys. Is that black enough for you, Wolfgang? Praise the white devil. I do gotta give one of these. I can't tell where the camera is anymore. Right, I'm just gonna read some of these comments because they're fucking hilarious. It says, Israel refuses entry to anti-Israel activists routinely. These two are no different. Shouldn't that be complained about a little bit? Just a little bit. But hey, what's going on over there? Why are they afraid of words and information? If they think it's propaganda, why don't they just counter it with other information? They always just seem to rely on, oh, they're anti-Semitic, that's it, any argument. Which I thought was the whole thing about, my orange man bad, facts over feelings. I thought that's what that whole shit was about. But still, when it comes to this, people just, shut the fuck up. Yeah. Some people did something, and now Omar can't enter Israel. Smiley face thing. UK bans Lauren Southern. Nobody bats an eye. Israel bans Omar, and everyone loses their minds. I would agree. But it's a lot more controversial of a topic. Most people probably consider Lauren Southern just a dumbass. It's like, oh, why listen to her? They're anti-Christian, anti-white, anti-Semitic, anti-USA, and more. No doubt, good to see you. Says Pyramid 7. Dry white toast. Don't you fucking dare say that about yourself. Pyramid 7. That's Tim Pool's job. Tim Pool is dry toast in a jar where air doesn't even hit it. It's just. Alright. I think your mic's back on, just so you know. Because they have a narrative to keep up. Yeah. Well, conspiracy guys back in the day would all be saying this shit, that they would try to pit people against each other. And now it's just continuing with whatever the main topic is. And that's been Trump lately, so. Wolfgang Felix says, rich people don't give a shit about you. I wouldn't say rich people, I'd say certain rich people. Yeah. Ruben Garcia, I saw Johnny Gatt show that Jesse Lee Peterson is a Zionist neocon, and his alt-right fans were flabbergasted. They might not even know what these terms are. Not gonna lie to you. Or they might have the Tim Pool window dressing understanding of these things. They were like, if you call someone Zionist, that means you're anti-Semitic, right? because it's a disparaging term. It's like, no, there's actually people that call themselves that. It's an actual thing.
Biden calls himself a Zionist.
Yeah.
Openly.
There's plenty of people that do that. Look at you, conspiracy theorists.
There's plenty of people on the right as well.
Yeah.
Who consider themselves on the right. In actuality, they're just fakers.
Yeah.
Same goes for anybody that says, "Well, I'm a progressive." No, you're not.
Just making sure your mic was on. I forget every second. Wolfgang Felix says this guy has been hiding under a rock for thousands of years. Now he has a YouTube channel.
I agree. Tim has been living under a rock for thousands of years.
Pyramid 7, Tim Pool does some halfway decent topics.
No.
If he hasn't sold out, he's close.
I completely disagree.
I mean, there's topics that are just blatant, you can't avoid. But then it's how he goes about it. Anyone can land on a topic, right? If I've been talking about Epstein every day for the last 10 years and all of a sudden this story hits, it's like, oh, all right. Or if I'm just looking through Twitter's trending list, I mean,
how much talent does it I'm not gonna say talent, but how much how could I say this? How smart do you have to be to constantly just stay on one topic and just fucking ring it out? You know what I mean? Like the Jesse Smollett thing. Oh, that's some shallow shit. It's not really that important. We can talk about it for one day, give a solution to it, and that's it. No, I'm gonna talk about it for 2 weeks and pander to a group of people who I know are gonna eat it up. That way I can get more clicks and I could possibly make a profit off of it.
And also turn it into something else.
And
like this story. He turned this thing into
and
a full segment on how they're anti-Semitic.
And then he remains milquetoast.
Yeah.
He's the guy that, right? He'll lead you down the road, but when it's time to make a left or right turn, right? Let's say there's a left turn, there's a road to his left, in the center, and the right. No political pun intended. And he'll talk shit about the going left and right. Oh, so you're telling us to go straight ahead? I didn't say that. That's him. That is Tim Pool. I nailed it. That's him.
I'm not voting Trump, but here's why you should. Basically.
No, he's like, I'm not voting Trump, but he'll talk shit about all the other candidates.
Yeah. Where'd I get lost at? Pyramid says, I've met some rich people that are decent, a few. Yeah, there's good people everywhere, I think. Or people trying to do good. In all types of groups, all over the world. Maybe even all over the universe, we never know. Pyramid 7. FYI, anyone ever get into Q? I heard about it early on.
Whack.
And sort of fell off from paying. It started going in all these directions to where I stopped paying attention to it. And then I saw some guys that were basically exposing it. People making money off of it. All these bullshit predictions. All these, stay asleep, guys. Just stay asleep. Trump's gonna fix it at some point. Just calm down. Just wait a couple years. Get him elected again. After that, he will fix it. The swamp will be drained after that.
The swamp will be drained after we hire Goldman Sachs. Yes.
Pyramid says, his bigger network is huge. I kind of respect the success. I would go nuts with the repetition, though.
Who, Tim Pool?
Yeah.
I
just went over.
You can't respect. No, look. I get how someone could think that, but you can't respect. Really, I can't respect anybody's success if they pander to a group of people who are largely ignorant, and then they have an idea that these group of people are ignorant. That way, they know what kind of content to put in their direction.
Yeah.
So it's no. So if in a better world, you would not be this successful.
And if you read
everyone would call you out immediately, and you would get you wouldn't be doing this straight up.
And if you read the comments, it's He doesn't even know these are his type of
He
fans.
probably knows.
Maybe he does.
Dude, he panders to them, so he has to have an idea.
Yeah, maybe. Where am I at? Ruben Garcia. I meant that the alt-right could believe that Jesse Lee Peterson was pro-Israel. Yeah? They always panic when a racist right-wing person they love is happy Zionist, even though they never hide it. Oh, like Tommy Robinson or something. Or, I don't want to call anyone racist, but just guys in that circle.
I can see why they would call him that.
Guys in that, like, circle. Pyramid says, if you want the truth behind Q, let me know. Yeah, we wouldn't do what Pool does. Not for us. Yeah, I mean...
But Q?
Those are two separate.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was going to say, if anybody wants to support Q, we can talk about everything that Trump has done regarding foreign policy. And then that wipes away that little image of him being anti-establishment for the people.
You see, that's 8D chess. You're not getting it, James.
Oh, fuck out of here.
These children need to die now.
These
children need to die now. It'll fertile the soil.
Okay.
Plants will grow, and it'll be a whole new Yemen. It'll be wonderful. It'll be sunflowers everywhere. Only a couple opium fields. The rest will be sunflowers.
Will there be a new embassy there, too?
Anyways, those questions don't need to be answered. Those are reserved for private hands. Q has them.
Steve wants
What'd you say, son of a bitch? Yeah, I don't trust Tim Pool in multiple directions. Competence and character. Just being real. So...
And he's mediocre.
Alright, we're going to move on to something a little more fun. Or funny. And it's Steven Crowder, yes. Steven Crowder Changed My Mind episode. Damn near new, I guess. And it's Trump is not a racist. Change my mind. And there was an interesting video Crowder put up, and it's Christ. Christ sits next to Crowder and has a debate with him. And it gets pretty interesting. Here we go.
Now finally, realizing he was no longer the center of attention, this crazy leftist decided that he wanted to sit down. You want to sit down and talk? Sure. What do you think?
I don't know if he's reasonable. Oh, are you kidding me?
Yeah, I don't know. You
don't know if I'm reasonable?
Yeah, I don't.
I won't scream at you.
I obliged, with some very clear conditions.
All right, the only thing is you have to promise that when we're done, and you leave. You can't just sit here and not let anyone else sit down.
Oh, no, I'm not going to do that. No, I get up no matter what. Hey, you're not going to throw me out. I'll get up when it's time to go.
Whatever. You can't just sit here and not let anyone else sit down.
Oh, no, I'm not going to do that. No, I get up no matter what. Hey, you're not going to throw me out. I'll get up when it's time to go.
Whatever it takes.
Yeah, are you really, seriously? I don't think so. Have fun with it.
Little foreshadowing there for you.
Fun crowd.
It is a fun crowd. It's been a great crowd.
Good supporters.
What's your name?
Bruce, or Jesus Christ, depending on your ability to recognize yourself in the mirror.
Okay, I'll go with Bruce.
It's like, what was this? It was crazy leftist.
Your ability to recognize yourself in the mirror.
Now, Bruce may indeed be crazy, but at that moment in time, some sort of force of nature entered his body to say the correct words that I think Crowder can't handle. He can't handle those type of things. Let's continue. I'll show examples as we go, or later on.
Bruce. So, Bruce.
It's actually Jesus Christ. You'll go with Jesus Christ.
I'll go with Bruce.
Okay.
So, Bruce, I don't believe that President Donald...
See, I think Crowder's a little offended that he's calling himself Jesus Christ because there's only one Lord and Savior. That Crowder would,
He's the CEO.
At least I think his belief is.
He used to be the CEO of Halliburton.
Trump is a racist.
The reason you should go with Jesus Christ is because I'm right here in front of you, and you can actually learn something from helping to save our country and saving the world.
Okay.
We have to get all minds on, all hands on deck, all minds on point. Protect the truth.
Jesus.
Now, you can learn something from trying to help people in the country and around the world. It's like, seems like something you could agree with, maybe. Well, you'd have to have a real experience with something like that. Don't think Crowder has. Maybe. We'll wait for my later examples. Here we go.
Jesus Christ.
Exactly. That's the correct way to pronounce my name. Jesus Christ is the correct way to pronounce my name.
Sweet
You stumbled
Jesus.
upon.
There you go. Let's see what we did there.
I'm serious about that.
Okay, I don't believe that President
I'm
Donald
you,
Trump...
you're me. There's only one me in all reality.
Yeah. It's okay, we'll go
Seriously,
back to
there is.
We'll go back to the Jesus Christ thing. This
Yeah, he can't go back to that. Problem with frat boys, man. They don't have any street smarts to where it's like, I don't know. They think, okay, if I run around with, throwing jello at people, wearing a lobster outfit, it's like, oh, he's crazy. I could just be fucking around. What frat boy logic is, oh, he's crazy. Where's his suit and tie? Where's his tight jeans and t-shirt? Where's his frat hoodie? They don't understand things like that. Like, they think you're less valuable if you don't get a particular type of haircut or something like that. Which is probably why they mock other cultures. Yo, what I'm saying, boy? Like, they do shit like that when no one's around. Why are you talking ghetto? We've seen them before, right? Right?
Yeah. Oh, I've experienced it. It's like, what? It's like everyone in the room looked down and thought, like you thought you were amongst friends, man.
But you're all white. What's happening?
is the reason we're here. We have the sign. Listen, I don't buy it that Donald Trump's a racist. So you were yelling earlier, pretty upset.
Why? Because he might not get elected if people believe he's a racist. That's why you don't like it.
No, that's not what. I don't believe that he's a racist. So again,
it feels uncomfortable, to feel like you're a racist because you support Donald Trump.
If you sit down,
is that why?
If you sit down, the onus is on you to change my mind. That's the whole idea. So you rationalize
part of it. Yeah. Part of changing your mind is revealing your motives. As
you don't know my motives.
Why you don't want to see Trump as a racist. You have motives. And yeah, you do. You definitely have motives. You want to get Trump elected, right? You're a Trump supporter. You want to see him get elected. You don't want people to think he's a racist. And because if they think Trump's a racist and you're a Trump supporter, they're going to see you as a racist. And you don't like how that feels.
Another very interesting comment, right? He's not trying to immediately say Trump is a racist and here's why. He's going with, like, why are you doing this? Why are you doing this thing? My motives. They don't matter. I think they do. If you're going to have a real discussion with another person, if it's for, a gag or a gimmick or something, then you just argue whether or not Trump's racist.
What's your angle?
It's like, what are you about, man? The person I'm sitting across from, the other human being I'm talking to. What is your motives behind this?
What's your angle?
Do you want to get Trump elected? Do you want Trump to not look racist so you don't look racist? I think those are legit questions to ask. It's very Socratic.
What's your angle?
What's your angle?
Because that's what he says when he acts like a little bitch when he gets interviewed. What's your angle?
Yeah.
Crowder? Yeah.
I would say that's damn near the Socratic method of, questioning people, right?
Yeah.
Something like that. I don't want to skip these. Ruben Garcia says Clint Eastwood, Ann Coulter, Brett Kavanaugh, Mini AOC, and most recently the Dalai Lama, even though I think MSM took him out of context for tabloids.
The Dalai Lama?
What's that in regards to? Yeah, the alt-right loves all those people I just mentioned. I think some are now starting to promote Hulk Hogan and Sylvester Stallone. What? Maybe it's a psyop to get them to not be racist or something. I don't know. Racist. Pyramid 7 says, I have a confession. Confess.
Confess! You know damn well what you did.
The Zoomer alt-right kids like PewDiePie too.
These names, dude.
I don't know. I'm waiting for Pyramid 7's confession. He probably said that a while ago, and I was going over the video. There's too many words now. Zoomer, right?
Yeah, I know.
That's like the new boomers, but alt-right. Rob B says, notice for you guys, perhaps stop asking for thumbs down because it makes your videos more difficult to find with searches.
He does have a point.
Yeah, that is. I never thought about that. Maybe I should ask for money rather than ask for someone to take my money. I should consider that. I'll think about it, Rob. Pyramid 7. So before Dev had her stroke, we have been lifelong Democrats. Not until she had her stroke and I initially found myself with a ton of extra time on my hands did I really start digging into the truth. Okay. Let it be known. Zoomer is Generation Z. Yeah, I assume that. Kids born after 96. You're almost a Z. You're almost a Zoomer. You're almost a Generation Z. Almost.
Derek Jeter debut year.
Pyramid 7. I actually saw Jeter's rookie season, so fuck you.
Made his debut in '95.
My first game was Jeter's first
Debut.
season. Go fuck yourself. Against the Expos.
Made his
Who
debut.
don't exist anymore.
You saw him play the first game of the
Alright,
'96 season.
I want to get to
God,
this.
you lose.
I want to get to
You
this.
lose.
Pyramid says, we had always viewed Republicans as people that viewed themselves as too good for us, snobbish, wealthy, those that didn't care for the middle or lower class. We spent our adult lives with our daughters volunteering every vacation and weekend helping others across the country on our dimes. We felt that it was our duty as Americans. Now I'm not sure. What do you mean by that? Do you mean like there's another way to help people? Or is there something else? Or maybe when you had problems, people weren't helping you, and you have a different perspective on it? Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, I know that because I'm sort of lucky, as in early in my life I skipped past politics. I didn't give a shit about it. Then I look back at it and you can still see the mood of things, and it came off as Republicans, you know, they would it's like documentaries showing them wearing like their suits would look like NASCAR coats because they have so many donors from all these different corporations, and Democrats were the good guys that are fighting that. And I think it was more of how George Bush, like, that era was so bad that, you know, it made Obama, basically. Just like Clinton made Trump. It's the way it seems. Vicious E says there's got to be someone rich greasing Tim Pool's pockets. His takes are too predictable. He falls on the same side of all these things every time. Like, I think we did a video, or part of the title was, like, Tim, just vote Trump already. Really. But he needs it. He needs that little extra space to save face and to, you know, trick the other potential audience members to say, I didn't vote for Trump. It's like, yeah, but you spent, you know, half your videos convincing other people to vote for Trump. Not by telling them to vote for Trump, but by making him look good or making his opponents look bad. Right? He's been selling that the Squad or AOC, Omar, Tlaib, Presley, those guys, as like they're running against Trump in the presidential election. They're not running against him. These guys are the face of the new Democratic Party, and Trump's going to beat him in 2020. It's like, what? He's not going against them. Why don't you mention Bernie with a legit criticism? Why do you mention you voted for Bernie as like a defense mechanism? I voted for Bernie in 2016. Like little shit like that. But anyways, Rob B, I just got here. Do we think Trump is not racist? I agree that he's pretty much not racist. I would agree. But I look at racism in a different way. As in, I don't think it's a real thing. I think it's like a mixture of ignorance, conditioning. Yeah, a mixture of ignorance with really poor conditioning. But that's not what I'm here to talk about. Not with Crowder. Crowder's a different story. I'm not gonna go up here and tell everyone Trump is racist. That's not what I'm arguing. I'm gonna argue that Steven Crowder is a fake Christian. He's a fake Christian. He might even be a fake Christian rather than a real fake Christian. See, there's guys who can believe, truly believe, what they're saying about whatever Christianity, but it's like bullshit Christianity. It's like a Christianity dipped in a pool of Republican talking points. That's real fake Christianity. But then there's fake, as in you don't actually believe what you're saying, but you're using Christianity as a tool to, I don't know, fall into a certain crowd or
further your agenda.
He could be furthering an agenda. If Crowder's furthering an agenda, it's someone else's agenda. It's not his. Let's put it that way. All right, where'd I go? All right. Pyramid says, I just think the Democrats are not who they used to be. I fucking hope not. I hope they're not like they used to be. I hope something new replaces all that shit. And right now, I'm in a position of looking at people as like, do I believe you really believe what you're saying? Or do you really take that? Do you really mean to do good? Do you truly mean to do that? And I really do think guys like Bernie Sanders, Tulsi Gabbard, I think Andrew Yang, obviously Mike Gravel, Ron Paul, like guys like that. I think they're really trying to do better. I mean, I agree with their methods because it's a lot of incremental steps rather than what's the best possible thing we can do now. But, hey, we're surrounded by a gang of conditioned people who fall into ideologies and, yeah. All right, that's for Vicious. Pyramid says, where'd it go? Pyramid says, I'm so much fucking older than you guys. I don't fall on any lines any longer. They're all crooks, but keep raising your voices. We might lean more towards what you just said than anything else. Really. That's why I'm going off of, like, do I really think this person is trying to do good? Because policies, anyone could say policies. Barack Obama brought up Medicare for all. It's like, do I believe he's really for it, though? But then you have Bernie Sanders brings up Medicare for all. But he's been saying this for a while now. He has detailed, laid out policies. He has a think tank where these policies are extremely laid out. He has like professors and economists and other politicians and public intellectuals like Cornel West, all a part of it, trying to figure out a way to make this shit happen. So that lends more credibility to it. But I always keep in the back of my mind, he could be lying to me. This could all be bullshit. It could be a charade. Or he could institute Medicare for all for a shitty reason, some shitty agenda, conspiracy style. Alright. Vicious E says, I think Trump has something against Mexicans. I don't know if it comes from a place of white supremacy, though. I think Trump knows his base has a problem with people coming across the border. And Mexico's right there, so I think he's just pandering to his base. I think if it was reversed, and all his constituents were Mexican, he'd be talking about all the white people stealing their jobs and shit. I swear to God, I think that's what he would do. Alright, Vicious talking to Pyramid. Pyramid 7 says Owen Benjamin did some hit pieces on Crowder about him and Shapiro being closet fudge packing homosexual Brokeback Mountain queer eyes, or whatever you kids are calling it now, which I don't care. God damn. You're lucky the ADL's not here. You'd be done for Pyramid 7. Yeah, I did see Owen Benjamin. I heard him saying that about Crowder. It's like, why do you think he's always dressing up like drag? Or dressing in drag? Why do you think he's always doing that? Shapiro he called a little, coward. Little chicken hawk coward. Which I would say is a lot more accurate than calling Crowder gay. Alright, Ruben Garcia. I'm Mexican. I don't feel any different with Trump with how I felt about Obama. Trump is just a brain-dead moron that panders to the crowd. Panders to his crowd. Yeah. Agreed, Ruben. But it's also going to be different for you, Ruben, because you look into, policy and shit. There's, other people who don't look at any policy. They just look at the news clips and all that shit, and then they're like, eh. Alright, Pyramid talking to Ruben. Ruben says both Univision and Telemundo praise Ronald Reagan for his Amnesty Act. They say that Reagan was a hero for Hispanics. Fuck. Do you know what did he know about Iran-Contra at all? Did you know about,
Nope.
Jesus Christ. Well, no wonder that, what's his name? Jorge Ramos? Trying to get Maduro out of there. I think he works for, what's it called? I think he works for Univision. Yeah, they're trying to get him the fuck out of there. I'll play this up until Crowder pulls this dude's chair out, which he does. He tells him to leave with his words. He could have kept going with his words, but instead he pulls the chair out. Bet if that dude was bigger, he wouldn't be doing that shit. Just being real. I really don't think he would do that if he saw a physical threat sitting across from him. But let's let it continue.
So you're motivated to convince people Trump's not a racist. Whether he's a racist or not, you couldn't give a crap. But you want to convince everyone he's not a racist.
That's a very good point. Whether he's actually racist or not is not your point, Crowder. It's to make sure he doesn't seem like a racist, or make sure people don't think he's a racist. Because, the damn socialists are going to turn us into Venezuela. Go watch Crowder's reporting on Venezuela. Some of the worst shit ever. Literally uses a State Department video to tell people are eating out of garbage cans. No blame to be sent to the U.S. at all. Nothing about sanctions. No fake president being set up. No coup. No nothing. Just, this is what socialism does. That's all.
Yeah.
So he gets elected.
So everything you've just said is incorrect.
No, it's exactly correct. Exactly accurate.
Everything you've just said is incorrect.
No, it's exactly correct. It's exactly accurate.
And it's in the realm of something that couldn't, let's assume you were correct.
What you're saying is incorrect.
You said you were going to sit down.
I did.
Now, James pointed this out to me. As in, he said it again. Let's assume you're correct. It's isn't that an argument killer? Aren't you supposed to be arguing that point?
You look back into these conversations that go somewhere where Crowder never thinks they're gonna go.
Yeah.
I'll give you that. Or let's assume you're correct. It's now we're gonna stay on here. I want to know what you think.
And actually earlier, and I skipped past it, but the part where Bruce Christ is on the megaphone yelling crazy random shit Russia, Trump works for Putin, and Trump's a racist, and all that. And then when he sat down, he said something real. I'm like, you trolling this motherfucker for a second? Because, I don't know. Because it's the way he sat down. I think Crowder was thinking he was going to come up here and say, well, Trump works for Putin, and that's all that matters. And meanwhile, he's like, I'm going to break you down Socratically. I don't know if he purposely did that, but his questions definitely sounded that way. All right, here we go.
Civil,
I
calm down. So
am.
you have to
I
let me
am.
finish
I am.
speaking.
But you can't call something I say incorrect when
Sure
it's
I can.
actually correct.
Sure, I can call it incorrect. I'm going to explain to you why it's
and
incorrect.
I can say your statement of saying it was incorrect was incorrect.
Okay.
But anyway, go ahead.
You're a racist.
You're a racist.
You're a tried and
okay.
true racist.
How am I a racist?
I think you're a racist.
Okay,
The
how?
fact that you've made this your raison d'etre.
How?
I think you're a racist. I think you're anti-Jewish by insulting people of the Jewish ethnicity, claiming that you are Jesus Christ.
No,
I think you're a
doesn't
racist.
insult anybody.
What?
Yeah, it's like, what? See, that's a dishonest.
This dude's just trash on every level.
You see the difference between the questions that our Lord and Savior Christ asked Crowder and one Crowder asked him? See how he was like, I think you're a Trump supporter, and you put together a logical chain of whether, like, him being racist is not the question. It's about you want people to believe he's not racist because you want him to win the election. Like, that's an interesting fucking point to make. And, like, they could have went on with about that. But instead, he's just like, let's assume you're right about that. You're a racist now. Like, try to prove yourself not a racist. And it's like, that's like a dishonest way of, like, if you're really looking for answers, that's such a bullshit way. Anyways. Where am I at? Ruben Garcia, they were even using Reagan as an example to criticize Obama. Obama would be like right near Reagan, right? Like, he'd be close to him. Yeah. Reagan's like, oh, I did Iran-Contra. Obama's like, yeah, I did Operation Fast and Furious. Yeah. Gave guns to the Mexican cartel. Yeah.
He's also continuing whatever the fuck was going on beforehand.
Yeah.
So.
He says, yes, Ramos is Univision. All right. I saw Max Blumenthal put his foot in Jorge Ramos's ass. Pyramid says, boom! Fish to see. I don't really see any difference between Obama and Trump myself. Trump is just bolder about keeping the status quo. Except, of course, when he's lying about getting us out of the wars. Yeah. But once again, you're probably a person that pays attention. If you don't pay attention and all you see is the window dressing, you're going to think, oh, Obama's way different than Trump. Look at the way they speak. Trump's a racist. Obama, look, he's good at basketball. Come on. What president do you know did that? And hey, look at Trump. He's a man's man. He speaks like a real man. He just lets it go. He's not like these other politicians. And it's like, you look at their policy, it's like, oh, they're like teammates. They're passing the baton on to the next one. Pyramid 7 says, another thing that blows my mind, I find it interesting, now that social media is on the scene, or internet itself even, countries other than the USA are different than what we were taught. Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's just more information. Paints a better picture. Or even a worse picture. Right? You can go down a rabbit hole of something that's incorrect, and it's like, fuck, my worldview is off. But there's safeguards against that. Pyramid 7. I do think Trump wanted to get us out of the wars. Then I think he learned how shit really works. And I'm not necessarily a Trump fan. I think he'll do whatever his bosses tell him to do.
And again, I think there's a reason why whenever these guys were campaigning for the presidency, there's a reason why they're not specific and they don't really talk about their policies. I think he really wanted to get us out of war. I'm not mocking you. I'm just saying it's like for anybody that thinks that, it's like, okay, well, why aren't they specific on, you know, what is actually wrong, what's actually going on in overseas?
There's too much evidence to go against that notion.
So.
Hiring Bolton and Pompeo and all these guys. He bombed Syria without evidence, straight up. and right, and he didn't just like it didn't just a bomb just happened and he's, you know, we bombed Syria today. He was like, the babies, the beautiful babies. Look what Assad's doing. He's gassing his own people.
You know what that reminds me of? The babies in the incubators were left to die on the floor, the cold floor. Time to bomb people. Wait a minute. Is there any proof about this thing that happened in Kuwait? Nope. Time to bomb them. All right, Mr. Bush. Okay. I surrender. Too little, too late.
I mean, I wish Trump could do something. He's only the commander-in-chief.
Yeah.
That's all. That's all he is. He's only the commander-in-chief. That's why people like Tulsi so much, because he's like, oh, I was and I am in the military, meaning I know how this shit works, meaning some guy with, you know, badges and ribbons on his jacket will not
Intimidate.
Yeah, will not intimidate me or
Hopefully.
like, nothing you could say to me. Like, I know how this works. Ruben says, oh wait, Vicious talking to Pyramid. Ruben says, Univision and Telemundo were constantly bringing up the DREAM Act and implied that later on they wanted full amnesty. They criticized Obama over this. Okay. So I fuck with Telesur with Abby Martin because she's on there. Yeah. Was that a move from take what you can get to Univision and Telemundo were constantly bringing up the DREAM Act and implied that later on they wanted full amnesty. Criticized them. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, Obama wasn't going to do that. He wasn't going to bend on that. He was going to deport people. Ruben Garcia, Trump is technically changing the status quo, but for the worse, and on behalf of one half of the upper classes, the elites are in fighting now. He changed the window dressing enough for people to take notice. Like, maybe I should pay attention to this politics shit. Because every time SJWs or leftists, the mainstream people who don't do any research on their own, those types, when they started criticizing Trump, and they were like, Trump fans would be like, Obama started it first. What about the Muslim ban? Obama did it first. What about the deportations? Deporter-in-chief. Like, they always had a counter response to it.
I think what you mean to say is not to nitpick, but Obama did this. It's like, so that justifies what's happening right now.
Yeah.
But it's the word, but this happened.
Yeah.
But this guy over here did this, so?
Yeah.
So fucking what? Are you kidding me? It's like,
hey guys, they both suck. Over here.
yeah.
We're on this island. We're
Shut up, liberal. I'm not a liberal. You're a liberal and you don't even know it.
It's Noah's Ark. We're getting the fuck out of here.
The socialists bomb him.
All right, let's get up to Bruce getting the Holy One, Bruce Christ, gets his chair pulled out from under him. Then I'll show you why Steven Crowder is a fake Christian.
Prove to me you're not a racist.
Okay, I will.
Prove to me you're not a racist.
I will. There is no proof. You can't prove you're not a racist.
You're a racist?
You can prove yourself a racist, though.
Oh, okay. You can't, but I'm saying your motive is that you're a racist. You're sitting down because you are racist.
If you put brown people in cages to be overseen by pedophiles, you're a racist.
Yeah.
If you stand up and say, I'm Jesus Christ, I am you, you are me, there's only one me in all of reality, let's have the back of life itself and not go extinct, that doesn't make you a racist.
No,
it
you're a
doesn't make
racist.
you a hater of Jews. It makes you a person saying, hey, I am you, you are me, there's
No.
only one me in all of reality.
you're a racist.
Let's have the back of life itself.
You're a
Let's
racist.
save life from going extinct. Honesty and truth before the lies of pride.
Yeah.
That matters.
You should be more honest about your racism.
I am honest about who I am.
should be more honest about your
I
racism.
understand the racist that you are.
Well,
I understand the racist that you
I
are.
think you're a racist.
You are a complete racist.
You're a racist.
Inside your head, I can
You're
see
a racist.
you. You are a racist.
I am rubber, you are glue,
You are a
sir.
racist.
Bounces
You're a
off of
racist.
me and
You're a
sticks to
racist.
you, Bruce.
You're a racist.
Now you see,
It's embarrassing.
like you watch. I mean, Bruce Christ was yelling shit earlier on, right? Yelling wild shit. Then he sat down with him, and then he said something like, for real. Like, oh, that sounds like a normal person just talking to you. Well, a normal person just questioning you. And now it's like turned into a joke type thing. I don't know. I'm not going to go as far to say Crowder got owned, but that was just a poor exchange, I would say.
Bruce Christ, you're a racist.
You can stay.
Bruce Christ, you're a racist.
You can say little
and you're
rhymes,
particularly racist because you're the only one who insulted anyone of color here. Our nice brown
Every
from
single.
the Netherlands.
Oh, really?
Thank you,
Seriously?
racist. You're good.
You're absolutely out of your mind.
You didn't prove to us that you're not a
understand,
racist.
But hopefully you remember
Listen,
there's
dummy,
no one
it's a
here,
thought exercise.
No one here to protect our country.
It's a thought
There's no one
exercise.
here to
If you
protect
attribute
life from
motive,
extinct,
productive
except the me within us all.
Listen,
no
stop
power
for a second.
that.
Okay. All right, that's enough.
No power
All right,
above you.
get up and leave.
No power
Get up and
beneath.
leave.
There's no
You can
power
grab 'em.
above you
We can
nor
grab-
below
go ahead.
you.
Get out.
And your responsibility to save life from extinction.
Leave.
What an
I'm gonna Stand
asshole.
right here. Hey, keep your hands off me, little
Leave.
boy. Keep
Leave.
Your goddamn, what is this? Hey, keep your goddamn hands off me. What is this? What is this? Hey, boy, I'm going to.
Better step back, sir. All right, that's basically the end. He's gonna get one of those Nelson Mandela, like, yeah.
Wrestling, be like. Remember that move?
What? Do that again?
Video games?
No.
You remember that?
What?
It's in the games.
Like this?
This. It's in the video games, I swear.
I'd have to see it, man. That's actually a perfect place I paused the fucking video. Bruce is like, you stepped to Christ? That's right, I am. What you gonna do, Ben? Huh? Back up.
You gotta do this. Turn this way.
Don't even see me. My arms will be out of the fucking screen. Alright. Ruben says, amnesty for all Mexican immigrants. Fun fact. Yeah. Obama's gonna let that happen, so let's be real. Be like, one world government, Obama, opening the borders. Fun fact. The only reason I was even born in this country is because of Reagan's Immigration Act. Interesting. What's the thing that Vincent James keeps complaining about? He thinks it's the beginning of the crumbling of America. Someone did like an immigration bill or something.
I don't know.
Fuck, I forgot the name of it. I don't know if he attributed it to Reagan. Ruben says Sam Cedars fans are saying that Dorr is promoting the right wing because he had Tim Fool on his show, even though Dorr brought him to challenge his shitty takes. I think it eventually happened.
Sam Cedars fucking disingenuous, dude.
He's, tap water.
Yeah.
He's tap water, son. It's just, Like, do you care about this? I don't mean you have to get up and yell and shit, but it's like, just the logical strings he goes on. It's like, do you care about this? I mean, Pac-Man's worse, but Cedar getting into an argument with Jimmy Dore about judges and shit like that.
Or no, it steers that way, and he stays on it. And
one less concentration.
He claims he got the better of him because of that, as opposed to one less concentration camp.
Yeah.
That little Obama thing.
That's ass backwards thinking. They're accusing Dore of platforming the right wing. That's what I meant.
No, I understand. I'm just saying.
Yeah, but Jimmy calmly dismantled his bullshit.
It's over for these guys.
Jimmy's like, it's unfortunate. What was it about? Medicare for all.
What I suggest?
I don't support Medicare for all. It's unfortunate, Why is that?
No, it rises.
I think, Medicare for all would just be a Band-Aid or whatever the fuck he says.
Yeah.
And Jimmy's like, no, I think the ACA was the Band-Aid, just bandage after bandage. you know what? I might be wrong about this. I should do more studying. 3 videos later, resources are finite.
Resources aren't finite. God, what
Healthcare is not a human right.
That dude's such a weasel.
It's like, yeah, you make it a human right. You create it that way, dipshit. You made speech a human right. All right. When was the Crowder segment? This video? This is like a recent video. Insane anti-Trump protester goes berserk on Crowder. Changed my mind. Viciously says, that snake style? That's some sort of Mortal Kombat fucking stance, right? Bitch, what? Back up. He's like, you want this though?
That's the ancient art of the snake nipple grab, Marshall. You will never be able to milk anybody ever again.
Vicious Z also says, Crowder is so lame. He got owned on the whole socialism is theft, prove me wrong bullshit. Yeah, by Yusuf, right? And Crowder got a little frustrated. And what was he doing? He's doing little passive-aggressive movements towards the guy and shit.
Not only that,
I'm in a friendly gesture, but I'm moving slightly closer to
playing to the crowd and redirecting the conversation.
Why are you insulting me?
And controlling it.
Let me turn your argument back into you insulting me rather than what we were talking about, because I'm clearly losing. Ruben Garcia, anchor babies? That's the term for first-gen Hispanic immigrants. Yeah, I've heard that. I have a friend whose parents I went to high school with. I believe his parents immigrated over from Mexico. Pyramid's glad Ruben is here. So am I, because he corrects me on whatever the fuck I get wrong. That's for Pyramid. Pyramid says, you too? You too. I like to say, we see through the bullshit. I thought you were going to say the band for a second. How dare you diss Bono like that? I don't know. Pyramid 7, due to the ACA, my mom has health coverage. We still pay our premiums even though neither of us can work. Money will run out one day though, and we are well into the millions now since October. Believe it or believe it. Fuck. Yeah. You see, the way I understood it is he wrote the bill with the insurance companies to keep them a part of it. Then he made it mandatory to buy. It's like, you have to buy from this private company.
Yeah, I know.
It's like, fuck. Not even a public option. Fuck. I fucking hate corruption, man. Matt Hunter says, Trump racist? What blacks have Trump harmed?
Oh, the dumbass is back.
I'm sure he's harmed plenty of people of all different colors and shapes and sizes and genders and whatever, but I don't think that would make him racist. That would make him a tool. Ruben Garcia, by that logic, Sam Cedar also wants to platform the right wing by wanting Crowder and Dave Rubin to debate him. I don't think Jimmy brought him on for a debate. That's just access to someone who had access to Twitter, right?
It's that, and it's also, it could very, very well.
I think it's mostly about that.
It could have been the type of thing where Jimmy Dore's like, okay, I'm not going to argue with you. I'm just going to let you expose yourself here. And he did.
I think it was that Tim Pool had access to the Twitter guys, to Jack Dorsey. He had that interview with Rogan. And he's like, oh, tell us how corrupt fucking Twitter is. I'll team up with you to shit on them. Which I think is stupid, but...
And then he asked him what his opinions on Medicare for All was, or... That didn't go too well, so...
Muay Thai being a silly fuck. Pyramid 7, U2 is one of my faves. They're on my list. I like U2's music. See, my car is always stuck on classic rock stations, so I hear a lot of U2. And I like it. It had a different sound than all the other music I hear on the station. I have heard some shitty things about Bono, though. I heard he was number 2. South Park, anyone?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Pyramid says, oh yeah, there's no doubt ACA created plenty of kickbacks. Yeah. Like Dora always says, actually. Obamacare was Romney care. Muay Thai says, who would you... Sorry, some strange noises. This building is making weird noises. And I can't
just the
explain.
cat.
Muay Thai, who would you vote for? Wouldn't your logic say at the end of his term you would be calling him a murderer? You mean Trump? I wouldn't. It wouldn't be a would be. It's you already call him that now, I would say.
Yep.
If I had to guess. I'm not voting for anyone. Surprise. I'll vote for me. I'm voting for me, actually. I'm writing my name in. That's how G's do it. Rob B says, yes, ACA is defective, but it's the fault of both political parties. Yeah. That's what I meant when I was responding to Pyramid, and he was like, oh, I want the old Democrats back, or the way they used to be, or something like that. And it's like, no, those guys were working in tandem, man. And then Ruben brought up something about Trump being like this blatant, like, thing that doesn't seem part of the system, even though he is. But he has the image of it, thus leaving room for people who are actually countercultural to move into these places. So I'm like, things could be getting better if you think about it. It could get worse, too. 100% could get worse. But, yeah. Yeah. Political parties working in tandem with each other, and then working in tandem with whatever corporations, pharmaceutical industry, and the insurance companies. Muay Thai. I can hear James sketching pictures of Jordan's British broadcasting channel. That doesn't even make sense.
It's actually wood carving. You know? No freaky.
Yeah, you made it worse by saying that.
Just being honest. Just being honest. Yeah.
Ruben Garcia. Up until just recently this summer, I got charged for not having health care because I still can't afford it despite the ACA. That's fucking bullshit. Really? I thought Trump got rid of the individual mandate thing.
Individual mandate, bro.
That's what it's all about, don't you know? But I don't know.
I don't know.
Pyramid 7. I've heard Bono eats babies and all that shit. Who knows? Yeah, I've heard the conspiracy angle. But I also heard people just think he's like, I don't know, he does, what's the word? Like charitable shit, just to make himself look good. I've heard that, and I think that's why South Park made fun of him.
Yeah.
Where's my Nobel Prize? Rob talking to Ruben, Muay Thai. Who would you vote for in the elections?
Nobody.
Me. You're allowed to write names in. I'm voting for myself. Actually, I want to throw something interesting in here, because I was looking at a list today of all the open states, and I'm wondering if Trump's going to go to all those open states and campaign for Joe Biden. It's like, you know what? I wish Joe Biden was the one I'm running against. and all his fans, since they don't have to vote for anyone in the primaries, because Trump's basically unopposed. Let's be real, he's unopposed. So they're gonna vote for Biden to get so that Trump has an easy win. Where am I at? We've been talking to Rob. Maddie says U2 is classic rock now. What's next? Nirvana? Nirvana is on the classic rock station as well. You must be old like I am. It's like, wasn't that shit not that long ago?
Wasn't that long ago, huh?
Yeah. What up, Scuffed? Scuffed World Order. Talking to Ruben. Muay Thai says Jordan gets elected. James, Jordan is a murderer. We're not friends anymore.
I call it like I see it.
It's that he could have changed it, right? But he doubled down on it. You had a chance to veto you had a chance to let the Yemen bill go through, or sign the Yemen bill. Instead, you veto it. That's a problem. You're also funding all these other. You're also funding them. It's one of the earliest things. Remember him like holding that like glowing ball thing in Saudi Arabia? Come on, man. He's holding this shit up. Pyramid says, I always viewed the Democrats being those of the working class, for all artists, etc. I know that perception. And even during the Obama era, where a lot of people fell asleep, I still remember the artists that are nowadays like, vote Hillary, like fucking like Sarah Silverman and shit like that. Like artists. I'm like, what are you guys doing? Jay-Z. He had a song where he says fuck Bush in it. Like straight up. Can you imagine that? A mainstream artist saying fuck the president in their song.
Oh, I meant Eminem.
In a song they released as a single.
He said, I'd rather see the president dead.
Eminem went after him,
like,
yeah.
Ooh.
And Obama came and was like,
yeah, I know.
Fuck that shit. That's too risque. Maddie says, I swear I heard Nirvana played at a Walmart. Yeah, they play Walmart. They play that shit there. They don't give a like. What's the top 100 hits? Is there cursing in it? Okay, play it. We say that about a bunch of artists that died. Like, we say that about like Bill Hicks, Kurt Cobain, all these guys. Like, these fucking assholes that bring their names up. Like, these dudes would probably slap you in the face or be like, I don't want nothing to do with that guy. Like the Kangaroo, atheism is unstoppable. It's like, you think Kurt Cobain be fucking with you, man?
Fucking Crowder brought up Bill Hicks. I'm like,
Steven Crowder bringing up Bill Hicks.
All right, no, it was either Bill Hicks or was Carlin. I'm like, both of them.
Yeah.
Both of them would burn their cigarette buds out on your forehead.
So yeah.
Or bud. Yeah.
Not surprised by that, Maddie. Scuffed World Order. Do you live in a swing state? No, we do not. It is not a swing state. Or is it?
It gets cold here. Yeah.
Or is it a swing state?
It's always cold here in Alaska.
Alaska is not a swing state. Apparently. Right?
I wouldn't know.
It was like Alabama, whatever. I know I have it right here. Yeah, Alaska is not a swing state. I know this comment is directed to Maddie from Pyramid 7, but I'm reading it anyways. I'm seeing a new surge of info of Courtney killing Kurt. Yeah, I've went down that rabbit hole quite a bit. There's a dude on YouTube with like a 5.5 hour documentary explaining how it was Courtney Love who killed Kurt Cobain. There's also that Soaked in Bleach movie, and there's a documentary from this British dude called like Courtney and Kurt, or Kurt and Courtney. That shit's on YouTube as well. I'm not reading that, Muay Thai. I don't know, you sort of use PG-13 language. James sculpting up giant black wooden wieners. That's from Muay Thai.
Got a problem with that? What is it called? What was that Tupac movie? Like, hey man, are you
Oh, Bullet?
Yeah.
Mickey Rourke, Tupac.
Yeah. What was it?
Are you latent homosexual?
Latent.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's Muay Thai. Are you a latent homosexual?
And the way he asked him is so serious. It's like, he just has his hoodie on. It's like cold outside, so you can see his breath moving and shit.
Yeah.
It's like, what? Ruben Garcia, I was talking about, there's now this divide with the upper classes. There's this pattern I keep seeing with establishment liberals and how they see certain topics. Yeah. We talk about how art has died. I mean, really, like, all those deep philosophical or like meaningful movies, they're just like, I mean, they might be still in like the indie circuits and shit, but I don't see them like mainstream. I don't even see them up for awards. Now it's just about, are you gay? Are you black? Are you disabled? Are you this? Are you that? And then you win an Oscar. As opposed to, you say something meaningful, and the character happens to be gay, or character happens to be black, or whatever, or superhero, whatever the fuck. Regarding topics like Trump and Brexit. But I see a whole culture thing moving around. Looks like death walking. Rob B says the polls show that Biden is leading, but I agree. Trump would likely defeat Biden. Yeah.
The polls are bullshit.
I damn near guarantee it. I don't even think Biden's leading in the polls as far as the Democratic primaries go. Yang would tear into Trump's base and, in my opinion, probably defeat Trump. But Trump's best hope is that Yang won't get nominated. I definitely think Andrew Yang would defeat Trump because he can spit policies out, except for the foreign policy stuff.
Yeah.
That's where Trump will portray himself. Like, I know what it is here. I've been here for 4 years. I know the military-industrial complex. I know how to stop them. You see me do it, right? They wanted war with Iran. I stopped them. They wanted war in Syria. I stopped them. He can play that card.
The thing is, if Yang just does his homework, he can just go boom, 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 here, 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 here. He's lying. Venezuela, Middle East, you continuing these prior conflicts.
Yeah. And I'm not saying Yang's foreign policy is complete dog shit. It's just that one fucking thing I heard him say. It's like, fuck. That's like spoiled milk you're pouring into your cereal bowl. That shit about Russia, where it's like, even if it's an 85% chance that we think they're doing it, that they're hacking something, like, we will sanction them and they'll feel it.
Like, what?
It's like, you can do better than that, man. I think that was him saying what he thinks the audience wants to hear, or his base, his audience, or whatever. All right, I gotta like speed read through this. It's too many. Pyramid says, if you were on What Would You Do? Would you realize it before the reveal? I have no idea what that is. Is that a game show or something? Alright, it's Matt talking to Rob. Pyramid 7, 2016. Never been more embarrassed by the party. Oh, it was fucking horrible. They let Clinton... They robbed the people's choice, quote unquote, and shilled in the corporate choice, the corporate blatantly corrupt choice, and that's what made Trump look so good. Scuff World Order says Trump says if we break up with Saudi Arabia, they will become friends with Russia, and the U.S. will lose its status of dominance in the world. Ha 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 ha. At least it'd have a real reason to dislike Russia.
It won't be fantasy anymore.
And you can simply say, we're done funding you until you stop these aggressive military actions. You know, the ones, killing all these people. I'm not saying that the like whoever's in Yemen, the Taliban or wherever the fuck. Not saying those are the good guys. Just saying like you guys are using some creepy, super creepy military actions, like cutting off ports and cutting off food and shit like that. But oh, we're cutting you off until you're like, you settle this shit. Ruben Garcia, Katy Perry, Tyler Perry, the SNL cast, George Clooney, or some other ones. Yeah.
Damn it, Clooney. Damn it.
Matt Hunter, why didn't Jay-Z have the courage to go after Obama?
Because he's a dumbass.
Because I had to reach 1 billion. That would hurt my pockets. Muay Thai says, guys, James and Jordan are best friends, but get like totally embarrassed when it's brought up. You sound like a valley girl. Ruben Garcia, Bruce Springsteen was shilling for Obama hardcore. Yeah. Now here's the thing. Because I forgot, you mentioned all these celebrities, but there's a difference between pre-Obama and post-Obama, like, or during Obama. Right, pre-Obama, he said all these words that could get normal people thinking like, "Oh, he's gonna do the real shit," and then he could fuck them over. But if they just stay silent after that, and it's like, "Oh, you guys fucked up," or if you celebrate them after that, like, "Oh, you guys are part of it," right? Jimmy Dore voted for Obama.
Yeah, and he mentions it. He's like, "Yeah, I fucked up."
As time goes by, he's like, "What the fuck's this guy doing? Fuck that guy."
Mm-hmm.
So. Just want to make that known. Pyramid 7, Katy Perry is, I'd fuck the dog shit out of her. How dare you, Pyramid? You naughty human. I'm just saying if I wasn't married. Good save. Good save. Ruben Garcia, Jay-Z became a billionaire sellout. You could argue that. For sure. I think he's still an awesome artist, though. His music's still amazing to me. Let's see. Vicious C, is Jay-Z voting for Kamala or something? What happened? I live under a rock. I don't know. I don't know who Jay-Z's voting for.
He should just stay away.
We're talking about him shilling for fucking Obama. Well, pre-Obama. You can make an understanding, but then he did it for Hillary Clinton. It's like, yeah, you're done, son. What did the kids say? You're canceled. That's right.
I wouldn't know.
Shit is canceled.
I've been out of the loop.
Which I ain't got no problems with it, bro. Follow your dreams. That's you. That's you woodcrafting dicks on the side over there, off camera.
Better than being a latent homosexual. Yeah.
Ooh, shit. Goddamn. The comments keep coming. Ruben Garcia, Courtney Love killing Kurt Cobain is a psyop, just like Suge Knight killing Tupac. Both Love and Knight are being used as distractions because of how horrible they both are. Love went to Epstein Island. I have heard that. I don't know.
Still, Crowder being a fake Christian. I mean, hey.
I know, it's just so many comments.
Let's go, son. Come on.
Alright. Well, those ones are all them talking to each other.
I mean, it's one thing if you're going to chop this up. You know.
I might chop it up. Scuffle Order says Yang is a bottom tier candidate. Pete Buttplug has a better chance than him.
Butt plug? Fuck.
I'd say he has a better... yeah, he probably has a better chance, but that's because he's going to be pushed. He's going to be pushed to have a better chance. Yang, they're not going to push like that. Yang's support's going to have to push him. Almost there. Ruben says Bruce Springsteen was promoting Obama during his second term. Obama already had a record by that point. Yeah. All right. So, either an ignoramus musician, celebrity person, or a part of it. Ruben says, I like Jay-Z's music, and I don't trust Nas either.
Nas just seems like an ignoramus.
Yeah, I don't know much with him. He also makes really good music.
He can.
Well,
like when it
he
hits
has
every...
classic fucking
Yes, he
shit.
does. He does. Black Republican money.
Mounder says, wasn't Springsteen offered to give BJs to Hillary voters? No, that was Madonna, I think. How many brothers and sisters do you have? What are you, a narc? Muay Thai? Pyramid 7, catch y'all later. Have a good weekend. Alright, peace out, Pyramid.
Dodges the latent homosexual. Just dodge. Never happened.
Nah, Pyramid. That's Pyramid. You're talking about Muay Thai.
I thought it wasn't.
Nah, right?
Yeah.
No, that was Pyramid. Pyramid was talking about how hot Katy Perry is.
Oh, no, not that. No.
Alright, hope you can check out our UFC live stream on our second channel. That link is in the description box for our sports YouTube live channel where we do like fight companions type of thing. Watch fights, talk shit. We talk about anything. You can bring up any topic. And tomorrow night is UFC 241, Cormier versus Stipe. And alright, let's get back to Crowder being a fake Christian or a real fake Christian. One or the other. Can't get over the fucking viper hands. Susan. What, bitch? See, that's why he's hiding his eyes. That's why he got those sunglasses on. You don't know when he's going to strike. So.
It is smart. Look at him. It's like, I stood under the Master Chew. Are you ready?
He's like, what? Bless you. Sorry.
No, he's about to sneeze, and he's like, shh. Not anymore, huh?
It's like, oh, looks my phone. It's like, oh.
No, he feels his bandana coming untied. He ties it mad fast. Dude, that should be the thumbnail.
I might meme that somehow. Like green screen or some shit.
No, ready? Friday Night SmackDown. Bruce Christ versus Snake Style. It's like, fuck.
Alright.
It's like the big boss man's son under, like, yeah, it's like Vince McMahon. You got big boss man, except he knows Kung Fu Snake Style, man.
Alright, if you guys have any questions for us, try to hang on to them until we get through this little part we're going to go over. So, this is a video from, I believe, 6 years ago. 6 years ago. From a dude named Jan Hetfield. What is it? Hellfield. He's going to give Crowder some hell. Did you get it? Hellfield, hell. What he's going to do is use the Socratic method of, trying to figure things out. It's basically asking questions, trying to dig deeper to get an answer, a real answer, right? It's epistemology, something like that. And he's basically going to use, it is a gotcha type of scenario, but it's not really a gotcha. I think it's done honestly to get a real answer from someone. So it's only gotcha in the sense of you're hiding something, and I'm trying to get that answer from you. So, this is further evidence of Crowder being a fake Christian. Here we go.
Do you think it's good to have rational discussions on moral principles and values?
Sure.
If we can hear that.
Can a human being follow a moral principle without ever intentionally violating it?
I don't understand exactly what you're asking me.
Okay. Is it one of the capacities of human beings to be able to follow a moral principle without ever intentionally violating it?
Can someone follow a principle they profess without deliberately violating it? Yeah, I believe so.
Can they ever follow a principle they profess while never violate, wait, let me hear that again.
Follow a moral principle without ever intentionally violating it.
Can someone follow a principle they profess without deliberately violating it? Yeah, I believe so.
In fact, they can't deliberately violate it. Otherwise, they don't actually hold that principle, I would say. Right?
Mm.
I would never kill. I'm going to murder this person. It's like, oh, did you really hold that belief in the first place?
Should you follow your moral principles without ever intentionally violating them?
Well, say you're trying to frame in some absolutes. Do I think that if you profess a value, you should try and adhere
You
to
can
it?
pause it
Yes,
right there
that's
if you
generally
want.
best.
You see, Crowder learned that in college. Now you're putting things in absolutes.
Trying to frame things in absolutes.
Yeah. The same difference.
Yeah.
Trying to put things in... whatever.
Well, hey man, it's important how this fucker, like, you know, like, well, now you're trying to do this, and the way he the way he says it back to him, like, yeah, that was a question.
Yeah.
Like, like, do you believe in this? Then this would be an absolute.
Yeah.
Socially speaking, meaning, do you, like, you know what I'm saying? Well, this is your value. You will not violate it. You will not violate it.
Also, the interviewer is trying to get to absolutes so you can get a real concrete answer.
I might have butchered that, but you get the point. Yeah.
The interviewer wants a concrete answer. That's why it's in absolutes. But here we go.
Principles without ever intentionally violating them.
Well, say you're trying to frame in some absolutes. Do I think that if you profess a value, you should try and adhere to it? Yes, that's generally best.
So you think sometimes you should not follow your own principle?
Well, I didn't say that.
Okay, so should you always follow your own principle is the question? Or never intentionally violate it?
I believe so.
Okay. Can you mention one of your moral principles?
Dun, dun, dun. All right, remember, guys, this isn't politics, right? This is one of your, like, moral principles. Here's Crowder's answer.
Okay, I believe in God. I believe that there's a God.
Didn't know that was a moral principle.
That's a weird moral principle. I believe in God. Now, it's like, okay, someone could be confused and shit, but the first thing that would rush to my mind is, like, something simple, like stealing, kill it, like, right? He has 10 commandments.
Yeah.
He'd easily say murder or theft.
Yeah.
And he can even has a wiggle room, as in he wouldn't be intentionally violating it. Let's say if he went poor and was like, I had no choice, I was gonna die if I didn't have any food, so I had to steal from the supermarket. And blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can get it. That was just a weird answer.
Well, what is the principle there? What does it tell you to do by believing in God?
Can I ask you where this is going, though?
It's like, why do you need to know that? Why do you need to know where, if you have something that's set in stone, something like God, you know, an almighty creator, if you're fucking sure about it, do you need any more, like, do you need to know where it's going, or do you have an answer for all of this? That's why I think someone recommended street epistemology to me, and it's questioning people of a religious faith and shit like that, which is like, oh, I'd be like, yay, I like the woo-woo spiritual stuff, but guys who maybe have just been conditioned into what they believe, things like this can happen. Are you trying to catch me on something? It's like, shouldn't you ask yourself this question, Stephen?
Yeah.
It seems like something someone should ask themselves before it even gets to this point. But all right, let's continue.
This is for the bottom line. Do your
He asked where the dude's affiliated with, and who do you work for, like that type of shit. Maybe a little paranoid there. I don't know. These seem like simple questions to me, but whatever. Okay, I'll roll with it.
answers to my questions depend on where I'm going?
Well, it does depend on what exactly you're doing, because first off, you didn't greet me, you didn't say hello.
Oh, boo-hoo.
Earlier, you called me down and asked me, took me from a hotel room. So I just want to know where it's going. If there's a point of view or a slant to this, generally interviewers are able to give questions that are a little easier to speak about. So if you want yes or no questions, I can do that. But I know that often when you ask only yes or no questions, if this is
This is all a question of integrity. This isn't about, just makes it easier for us to conversate if I know where this is going. No, this is
Makes
about...
it more of a comfortable setting. That way I know I won't be challenged on anything.
Yeah. This is me worried about where this might go, to where I might not have an answer, or I might look silly answering something. I mean, I think a lot of religious people that I may have had conversations with, they dive right in because they're wholeheartedly into it. I'm not worried about that. They walk away from the interview. Everyone else is like, oh, they got you. They're like, I'm strong in my faith. You can't do anything to me. That's maybe that's just a rarity or something. I don't know. Anyways.
It's kind of an interrogation. You're going to lead me into something. Now, if that's okay, if you want to tell me that, that's fine. But if you just want yes or no, I can just give you yes or no. But you can get anyone here to do that. You don't need me to do that. So if you just want yes or no, tell me, and I'll just give you a yes or no.
I would like you to answer whatever you think is the truth and be comfortable to answer what you think. Sure. So a simple question might deserve a yes or no answer. Maybe it deserves a clarification or some other kind of answer. Okay. Please feel free to say what's on your mind, and if you think the question is unfair, you can tell me why you think it's unfair. So, okay, so I was asking you about... I was asking you to mention one of your moral principles, and you said God, and then I was trying to figure out exactly what that meant.
I'm very interested in what Stephen Chowder has to say.
Absolutely.
Okay.
See how he's on the defensive. You can tell it's fuck. Like, does this guy have a gun under the, like, out of the camera view? And you can't see it. He's just like, answer the fucking question. I mean, why be so worried about it? This is before his platform blew up, by the way. So it's like, I don't know why he seems so jittery and worried about answering these pretty simple. If you're really into this whole thing, it should be pretty simple to answer these.
Well, that's why
he got the name wrong. I just want to make sure that
it's Crowder.
Interest in other people.
It's Crowder,
yeah.
And I made a mistake, and you can point that out. So anyway, is love thy neighbor as thyself one of your moral principles?
Yes.
Do you follow that principle without ever intentionally violating it?
Yes.
I don't think so. I don't know about that. Yeah. It's like, yes, I love my neighbor. His name's Fred. He lives right next to me, right there.
Mm-hmm. Do you follow that principle without ever intentionally violating it?
Yes.
So you love all the people here just as much as yourself?
I love everybody here, yes.
As much?
That one was tough. That was a tough one to swallow, man.
Yeah.
You can see the eyes, the blinks and the glazes over. Like, he's like, where could this be going? Where could this be going? Oh shit! Here comes the gotcha question. He's coming at something.
People here just as much as yourself?
I love everybody here, yes.
As much as yourself?
Sure.
That's
Sure.
outstanding. Can you love someone on command, like somebody walks by here? Can I say to you, okay, Stephen, love this person, and you can start to love them?
Can I start to act on love? Yes, as I'm instructed to as per my beliefs, yes. The feeling of love, it depends. We've separated love now into a feeling versus the quote you're talking about is an act.
He has no clue what he's talking about. I mean, this seems like someone who, it almost seems like Tim Pool. Like he's reading Tim Pool reads the perception of how people view other people, and then he reports on the perception of it without calling it the perception of it. He thinks that's the actual case of things. This is Crowder's perception of how other people perceive the Bible to be. Or, actually, that's not even correct, is it? That's more of him twisting it around to where he's not responsible for anything. Maybe that could be it. I don't know. That's a tough one.
I don't know.
Hey, I don't know. I don't know.
Love now into a feeling versus the quote you're talking about is an act.
Also, love seems like an emotional internal thing. So without that emotional internal thing, there is no love action, right? That doesn't make any sense. As in, I can be a psychopath pretending. What makes me different than someone who truly cares? Oh, the caring part. It's the internal, I actually trying to do something caring and loving. Not just, I held old lady's hand. Walk across street. She's safe now. Go about day. Love act. Love act. You should have to feel, I care to do it. Otherwise, it's empty bullshit.
It's like I'm doing this not because I'm told I'm supposed to be doing this.
That too.
Can I choose to act lovingly? Yes.
Do you spend as much time and energy and interest on other people's concerns as you do your own?
No.
So would that reflect the fact that you love yourself more than you love them?
No.
So even though you love them just as much as yourself, you don't dedicate yourself to their problems or their interests?
Yes.
So...
It's it seems like he's taking the prideful stance of standing his ground, and it's not very Christian-like. I think the answer should have been like, I try my best. That's what a normal conditioned person might say. Like, I love everyone. Like, I try my best. I can't help everyone at the same time. Like, they'd scramble a little bit rather than, that's right. I can't help everyone else. That's it. It's done.
So it's interesting because usually people,
See the prideful swaggy? Like, what? Huh?
act in conformity to the degree of love that they have. So I love my wife.
Let me give you an example. I love my wife, certainly, actually, I would say, as far as the feeling goes, more than myself. I would lay my life down for my wife. Now, in order to provide for my wife, I have to make sure to concern myself with my career, with my problems, to ensure that they don't become her problems. Now, that doesn't mean that I don't love my wife.
What?
What happened to the other people thing?
Yeah.
Shouldn't you say, listen, I'm not God. I only understand like trying to take care of my family first, and then I try to look after everyone else too. Why can't you just say that? That sounds like a normal, conditioned, Christian-like answer. I mean, my answers would sound a lot different than this, but I'm not Crowder.
Good.
I don't have the history of Crowder to where it's like I have to answer for shit I've done like that. Come on, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, here we go.
Absolutely,
I love my grandma very much. I love her more than anybody. When she was dying of cancer, I still had to go to school.
Right, but what I was interested in is how is it possible for somebody to follow this principle if they are going to love everybody just as much as themselves? They wouldn't have much time to take care of their own problems and or their wife's problems.
Well,
so
I just answered your question. Yeah. So thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
He didn't answer the question. Not really. Like, there's real answers to this shit.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I'm like, you never actually thought about, like, really went into, like, fuck. Christ did all this amazing shit. We're supposed to live up to this Christ image, or at least try to, right? And you never even thought, like, wouldn't a normal person be like, I try to help, but it's like, fuck, I got bills to pay. I'm trying to make sure my kids get to school and have food in their stomachs. Like, they say shit like that, right? They aren't just, I can't concern myself with other people because I need to take care of these people. It's like, that sounds like, I don't know, cold and George Bush Republican sounding. Fucking, what's his name? Hessman. Out of my cold, dead hands. He holds a rifle in the air and shit. Charleston Heston, right? Something like that. So I'm going to show him when he's turned his back to Bam.
Yeah, that's called running away.
That was it's a good paced walk. So yeah, that's what happens when you could say philosophy meets a fake Christian, basically. Someone's running, and it's not the philosopher in that scenario, I don't think. All right, let me read some of these. All right, you guys are all talking to each other. All right. Dubster Brian says, since Jesus gave everything away, can I have your money and your food? Who is signing up for that?
You want me to answer this?
You can go ahead.
Read it again.
Since Jesus gave everything away, can I have your money and your food?
Well, for one, what do you mean by give everything? Since Jesus gave everything away, do you think he was talking to poor people who had absolutely nothing and he had something to give? Maybe it's the idea of helping others in need.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you're just being silly or disingenuous, but, you know.
Well, it's something to live up to, right?
Mm.
Why do you think all these hero movies, why do you think the characters reflect the Jesus character? And Jesus probably reflects a even earlier character than him. It's all about intention, son.
Like, what's wrong with, giving somebody, like helping somebody?
Nothing.
Exactly.
In fact, with the right intention, it might be the right thing to do.
Telling you, son. It's rock bottom from here. And if only they knew.
Scuff World Order says Stephen Charlatan. He really might be. He honestly really might be.
Get that guy on a podium and have him talking to somebody like James Corbett, somebody like Ryan Dawson, Kyle Kalinske,
Krista Murray, Alan
him
Watts.
Too. Oh, him too.
Michael Tessarian. Good luck with Tessarian.
Oh, Tessarian would be ruthless.
Yeah.
But I don't think he'd do it.
Yeah, I know. I'm not meant to change it. Like, if he doesn't want to, get him the fuck out of here.
Oh, I know a guy who would. What's his name? Norman Finkelstein.
Yeah.
Will 100%.
I'd save him for Shapiro. Not gonna lie.
Jeez. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. Or get Jimmy Dore up there with him.
Jimmy Dore. Dubster Brian, he made fish out of the sky and fed everybody.
What do you think that means?
Well, Crowder will tell us about parables as opposed to literal meanings.
I'm asking Dubster. Dumpster or Dubster? Dubster.
Like dubstep.
I'm asking. Like, what do you think that? What do you think that means?
Smoker.
Do you think that's a parable or literally?
I mean, you at least get the intention is like, oh, help. Try to make sure everyone's okay, right? That seems to be like the core meaning there. At least of the Jesus character. And then you look deeper and it's like, oh, there was a real Jesus character.
Mm. I mean, if you look at it right, what do you think walk on water means? Cure the blind. I could give you that example of like, it's been represented in movies, TV, him basically running into a temple and flipping over a bunch of tables that have coins on it, silver coins, food.
That was a parable.
Just wait.
He doesn't mean money. Money's good.
Let's just see. You turned my father's house of worship into a den of thieves or something like that. Oh, is there anything underlying there? Anything? Maybe it's not, even if you're taking it literally. Even if you're taking it literally, there's something to it. So it's like no matter what you do, there's always something there.
And that's what
I'm not even a Christian.
And it has the Dark Knight effect, where there's layers to it.
Yeah.
Where if you read it like, oh, Batman's just doing this because he literally does that. It's like, oh shit, there's still something here. Okay.
That's why the Batman character is just very good. Just very.
Yeah, too bad those types of movies are dead now. Enjoy it.
It was only like 7 years ago, man. It was like 7 years ago. It's like, all right, we're dead. That's it. Bye bye.
Now, I like the Captain America movies, but those are two different worlds. That's popcorn movie as opposed to, oh fuck.
Oh, keep it going. I don't want to.
Ruben Garcia. Let's list everyone from the Bush administration that is now working for Trump that I know of. It's Manafort,
Giuliani,
Stone, Barr, Perry, Bolton, Pompeo, Kavanaugh, the Supreme Court pick, and Abrams.
I could have swore Giuliani did something.
Giuliani was his lawyer, I believe.
There you go. That counts.
Yeah, he must count. Fuck, I don't even know. I wouldn't know. Off the top of my head.
I can tell you this, though. It's not fucking surprising at all.
Yeah. Drain the swamp?
Drain the swamp by pouring nuclear waste into it.
Scuff World Order. The elites are at the top of the pyramid, which reaches into the sky. Jesus was saying, eat the rich. Maybe, maybe not. See, I take everything he says as parable.
Same.
As metaphor. Because you can't teach the ideas that he's teaching without them being... Alright, the key points he wants you to get to cannot be said directly anyways. It's like me explaining happiness to someone else. I can't just explain happiness, so I give you a metaphor. It's like...
See, it's easy.
It's like that first day when school's over and you go out with your friends.
Yeah.
He's trying to tell you what happiness is, but he can't just tell you, so he has to use a metaphor.
So it's like... I will not read it as... See, that means Jesus is an anarchist. It's like, I think you're reading it wrong, but you're close.
Well, here's the thing. I've seen people read it literally, like the evangelical types.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen people read it as only metaphor. Might be more of our types.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's guys that flip-flop to whatever suits them, and that's fucking Crowder.
That's Crowder, 100%, yeah.
Like, no,
He
that was
will
parable,
literally-
this is literal.
He'll literally create his own version of Jesus Christ to fit his agenda or whatever the fuck he's following. If he wants to look, dude, he tried to push forward the idea of war. See, Jesus, he had a sword. He's talking about swords.
We'll get to that.
Yeah, that'll be funny. Yeah.
Dubster Brian, capitalism provided the best ability to raise people out of poverty. Other thing, I just got here and don't exactly know what you guys were talking about. I could have taken out of context.
Say that again?
You're saying capitalism provided the best ability to raise people out of poverty. The second part was, I just got here, so I don't know. I might have taken you guys out of context. Yeah, I disagree with that.
We have to.
Well,
Are you gonna say everything I'm gonna say and then some, or what?
Well, I'm gonna say that if you're going based off of a history lesson, it's like you have to. If you're gonna do that, you're gonna have to be scientific about it. Which means, is there another factor of why these things happen?
What things? Why specific forms of government?
Yeah.
Specific systems somehow fail, or they're now dubbed as it fails. Communism fails.
Yeah.
Socialism fails. Does it, or is it corruption? Is it the corruption of people? Is it the ignorance of people? And not only that, if we look at the history, maybe the past 30 years, is there some sort of self-fulfilling prophecy going on here? For example, if I want to say, you play on a team, I play on a team, two sports teams, and I say, look, they're horrible. They always lose. They don't even show up properly with their uniforms. But then you find out an hour before the game, I put holes in your uniforms. I just tore them up and shit. See, they're not even prepared. How can they play? Look, their cleats are falling off.
Yeah.
It's like, that's called a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yeah.
Me, your star quarterback. Last night, I ran behind him with a crowbar, and tore his Achilles tendon by hitting him and shit like that. And not only that, like I tore his PCL. Like, good luck playing tonight. Look, they're not good. Look, they can't even keep their players healthy. Did you attack them? No. There's video of it.
Yeah.
That's called a self-fulfilling prophecy. So the best example you could bring up right now, specifically right now, the example of the U.S. imposing sanctions on Venezuela. And you can do your history on what sanctions do to countries. They kill. That's warfare. It's economic warfare. To me, it's just as fucking bad as dropping a bomb on people.
You can use current history, by the way. Like, right now, happening right now, history.
That's what I meant.
I'm just throwing that in
Oh.
as a little hot sauce on it.
So, yeah, it was a couple months ago. Just check it out.
Yeah, I like to stick to meat and potatoes, which is keeping an eye on corruption and ignorance, because there's too many psyches have gone by throughout history, too many events we don't even know about, yeah, to where it's like it would be very unscientific to say this certain thing. I would say, when it comes to human behavior and how things turn out as a result of human behavior. Ruben Garcia, the temple in Jeffrey Epstein's island was for Moloch, the same idol from the Bohemian Grove. The giant owl thing. It's very weird. I would love to go to one of those meetings, get a microphone, and be like, yeah, Moloch calls you guys posers. You're all pussies. Get the fuck out.
Moloch calls you guys.
Moloch thinks you're all posers. Get the fuck out. There's no real ones here. Get the fuck out. Anyways. Scuff world order. No, it means Jesus was a tanky. I'm lost. What does that mean?
Oh, Jordan.
Matt Hunter. Matt Hunter. Jesus turned morality on its head. Weak, sick, poor equal good, power, health. Wealth equals evil.
Well, I think we already know you can't argue that, so you can't. Whenever we try, you run away. So
in the real world, the opposite is true. We may not like it, but that doesn't make it untrue. I would say, yeah, I wouldn't say that's true. I wouldn't say the opposite is true. And also, you go into something like self-fulfilling prophecy once again, as in, you got to get ahead to win. Got to get ahead to win. Conditioning. And you look at the actual lessons of the Jesus character, not the literal reading of it of, well, he could just do magic and make fish appear. That's why it worked. I mean, I would say the real meaning behind with the authors, and if that dude was a real guy saying that shit, it's like, oh, we fuck up on purpose. You see, individuals want to find quote-unquote heaven on their own. They want to be the lowers until they make themselves the highers. They don't want some character to make them higher, because an individual can't do it anyways. So people will folly until they fucking get it, I will say. Until they know they're the ones doing it, at least. But no, we just put our faith in something else and let that do it for us. Also, once again, very unscientific, Matt Hunter. Scuff world order. Jesus with the sword represents the need to arm the poor.
I don't think that was it.
Stop it.
I do not think you read that correctly.
He was armed with the word. That would scare someone like Matt away. Don Johnson, did the New Deal regulations bring the most people out of poverty? Or didn't the New Deal regulations bring the most people out of poverty? Once again, I mean, you got to make a separation between like positive and negatives, right? You could do something shitty, but something positive happens as a result of it. I don't want to think of a scenario. you steal something from someone, but, you know, you feed your kid from it. I don't know. Something like that. But it'll never be like laced in full-on gold sunshininess unless it's done with the right intentions. Now, if FDR was working with the right intentions to help as many people as he can, and he got somewhat of a positive result because, you know, good didn't happen, otherwise everyone would be fine right now. But something positive, you could say. You still need more work than that. So you're going to get a similar answer that Dubster Brian got, which is you can't just say, oh, he did it here and it pulled all these people out of poverty. You need all the circumstances, all the evidence, all of it. All the psyches, the psychological things happening. You need all of it. That's true progression, I would say. Yeah, I know I'm being woo-woo right now. Forgive me.
Give you progression.
Where am I at? Jesus was the original Che Guevara.
Che Guevara's a murderer.
That's what I heard.
So, well, based off of evidence.
That's what I heard.
So,
Scuff World Order says it's U.S. imperialism. Yeah, well, the U.S. hasn't been around forever. I'm pretty sure people have been fucking raping and pillaging all over the fucking world. So, the hunter says Guevara was born into a wealthy, elite Argentine family. After the revolution, he chose one of the most lavish mansions in Havana as his home. In his private life, Guevara dressed only in the finest imported clothing and made sure to don his fatigues when photographed. And that's sort of what I mean by sticking to the meat and potatoes of, you know, observing corruption and trying to do good, or observing ignorance and trying to do good, because of all these details that could come out. If you get stuck in hero worship of something from the past that you didn't experience, you're not that person, or you're not that quote-unquote system, you're not capitalism, you're not the New Deal, you're not these things, you didn't make them, you're not Che Guevara, then it's like, what if you put all your trust into that thing and you realize, like, oh fuck, this is on faulty this is on a faulty foundation.
It like blows up in your face.
Yeah.
So,
like, who knows? Maybe the New Deal would fail today if they tried it again.
It's like getting a tattoo of Che Guevara, you know, and it's like, oh, you found out he might have been a piece of shit. It's like, ah, fuck.
All right. Ruben Garcia, what do you think about the allegedly is it satanical, or do you mean satirical church of Satan getting recognized as an official religion?
Yeah, why not?
I mean, wouldn't that be like Satan's job, trolling, anyways? So, I guess it works. I'm not reading that, Motai. Mandra says, to send men to the firing squad, judicial proof is unnecessary. He says that's a quote from Che Guevara. Scuff World Order says, I'm telling you, I've thought this through. Jesus was a communist.
How? Well, first of all, I want you to explain to me what a communist is.
I think his correct title is Christ. I think it's a title, not like just his not a last name, right? That's how I look at it more as. Like, oh, you achieved Christhood. Congratulations. Here's your pen.
Here's your
Swimming pool will now be open to you 7 days a week, not just the weekends.
You are now part of this country club, and I hope you're happy. 24 access.
That's how our government would do it.
Donuts.
If God was like, I choose you. Oh, okay. You have access to all this other shit now. Don't share it, though.
Be happy, damn it.
Matt Hunter, the standard of living for the average Cuban was far better under Batista. I don't know Cuban history that well to say that, or to agree or disagree with you. Muay Thai says women are stupid and I don't respect them. Muay Thai. It's pretty gangster quoting yourself. It's also an ignorant statement. Matt Hunter, the Negro is indolent and a dreamer, spending his meager wage on frivolity or drink. The European has a tradition of work and saving. Che Guevara. It's a quote from him. So when did being a dreamer, like, you understand why we're in this death stage right here? It's like facts and logic, facts and logic, facts and logic, 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 logic. It's like someone's like, Art, kill him. He's in his feelings. Get rid of him.
Don't say that. Ugh.
So yeah, enjoy music in a purely logical world, purely logical society.
Oh,
enjoy your music.
Che Guevara said that. It's like, oh, you're an idiot.
Like, boop, 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 boop,
Oh, you're a dumbass. Now what?
We listen to sine waves. It's our music. Come on, dude. Half of nature is art. It's the point of achieving something without dreaming it up first. It's like, fuck, I finally made it. Instead, it's just, I was programmed to make it here.
Or they wait till the guy, the artist dies, and then, like, see, that's us. It's like, shut the fuck up, poser.
No. Beethoven's like, oh, bitch. Oh, bitch. How dare you?
Takes off his shoe. Fucking fuck.
You know that's where turn the other cheek came from, right?
Again, that's too smart for them, man.
Sweet Jesus. Dubster Brian. The New Deal was a trick to get people on the dole. Okay, on the dole, and it was more ammo for Jim Crow laws, since people would not hire minorities. So instead of an uprise, the scraps once again. Scraps once again. Okay.
Wait, so what is socialism, and how's Jesus a socialist?
Jesus is a communist.
Oh, my bad, a communist. How? Still waiting.
That's from, who said that? That was from Scott Orr.
Whoever said that.
Maybe it was. Maybe it wasn't Dubster Brian. That's the point of what I'm telling you, right? That's why I'm saying focus on the meat and potatoes of worst corruption or ignorance or whatever, and that starts with you. You have to clear your own shit out first. That's a Jesus lesson. Shh. Because who knows what the fuck happened in history. You know, exactly what happened. I'm sure we have ideas.
Yeah.
Scuff talking to Matt, I think.
It's like, if only they knew what the fuck's going down. No free.
They must never know. Matt says, and he's quoting Shea again, the Negro, those magnificent examples of the African race who have maintained their racial purity thanks to their lack of an affinity with bathing. Che Guevara. Okay.
Che Guevara was probably a dumbass.
I dislike him now. That's what I'm supposed to do, right? It's in my programming.
I never disliked him or liked him, but
I had no feelings for the dude.
Me either. I could see he was some sort of like at one point some sort of like underground fucking. What do you call it? I'm a rebel. See, Che Guevara. It's like, what's this dude really about? Was he a murderer? I'm hearing he's a murderer. And now then I hear this shit, so it's like, oh, he's an idiot.
Yeah, I only have feelings as far as like a human. That's all. And honestly, if you want to get into like the facts and logic parts of things, it's like, fuck, you're gonna have to actually use that feeling of empathy in order to understand someone like that, or anyone, right? To understand their motives, to truly understand their motives, you have to understand their feelings too, or even lack thereof. Thus, you must understand yourself and understand all your faculties to recognize their faculties. See how it works? So, on the surface shit won't get you far, man. You'll be guessing, and you'll be guessing while you thinking you're getting the right answers, and you're just tricking yourself.
Hopefully that wasn't like a paper bag being left out of a moving car, what you just said, you know?
Scuff World Order says, those poor murdered fascists. Laugh out loud, don't take Matt Hunter's word. And
No,
I
would feel bad for them no matter who it is. So.
Oh, yeah.
Just saying.
I was saying
I don't care if you're Hitler. I'm like, no, don't fucking murder
I always
the guy.
go with, I don't know. Yeah. Matt Hunter, so you condone murder then? No.
You're gonna hear what this guy's gonna hear what he's.
You might not be talking to us. So.
Okay.
I didn't even see a part where they said murder.
I think I knew he was talking to.
Oh, he's talking to Scope.
Yeah.
Might be. Alright, those guys talking to each other.
I think he knows better by now.
Vicious E says, I always thought Christ was more of an expletive. He's supposed to have everything, thus the title Christ. Right? I would think. I might even say the cross might mean a symbol of something. You know, you touch all corners. I don't know. I mean, the sun might actually be the Son of God. He might have 12 disciples, I think.
Don't say anymore.
Yeah, he's supposed to have everything. He's supposed to be a savage, a meek person, not Meek Mill, like an innocent type of person, a childlike nature. He's supposed to be the adult in the room and the child in the room simultaneously. That's what I thought it meant. Dubster Brian says, Jesus is Greek spelled, is that an I or an L? I can't see. Jesus? Yeezus. He's Kanye? Jesus.
Damn it, Kanye.
Which means the anointed one. Coincidence, Zeus is spelled Eus in Greek. Interesting. It's almost like these archetypes are playing themselves out over and over again because we never fucking get it.
It's like a Superman is constantly
someone comes
being
around and we just fucking
us.
kill him. We move on.
The Superman character is constantly being presented to us because we keep fucking up.
We just scream socialism and capitalism and communism and left and right and over and over again. Yeah, I got that, Ruben. Satirical as in parody of religion, but it doesn't work that way anymore when it gets recognized as an official religion. And I think it's creepy in light of all the occult symbols appearing now. Yeah. I've heard a bunch of different things. The Satanism I've heard of was mostly from Michael Tessarian, and he talked about it in a serious way. That they weren't just satirical type stuff, but they did weird shit.
Was it Crowley, right?
Not Crowley.
No?
You meant like Anton LaVey, a guy like that. But he would say the ones that took it serious, they believed in Jesus as well. They just believed Jesus has a devil side and a good side. And they say one day they will mix together and make one full Jesus guy. And I'd say, you guys should join teams with the evangelicals, because you're fucking it up too. Nah. I don't know why people don't just learn from each other.
It's too easy, dude.
But yeah, that's one of the things I've heard. I don't know if it's historically correct or any of that shit. It's just things I've heard. Dubster Brian says, in Hebrew, Jesus is Yeshua. Translate to English, it is Joshua. Interesting. I've also heard something about it's the Torah, right? That's the Jewish book.
I believe so.
In the Torah, in their book of Isaiah or whatever it's called, that they describe their Messiah, and it's actually Jesus. They don't say Jesus' name, but it's like born of a virgin with 3 stars, 3 wise men, and it basically sounds like a Jesus story. So they stopped teaching it in their schools or something like that. YouTube, whatever shit I looked up.
If that's true, how fucking
Can't give
fucking
it credit yet.
dark is that?
That would be dark. There's just like this Jewish guy on YouTube walking around Israel saying, "Guys, we missed our Messiah. It's right here. It was Jesus the whole time."
Yeah.
Ben's like, "No, it's gonna be a political leader." Dad,
why don't you love me? Oh. Go to hell, son. No.
Man, Hunter, the first thing to go when socialism or communism takes over is art.
Wrong. You're being silly, dude.
It's probably wrong. It'd probably be government first,
when
right?
When this takes over. What do you mean when?
If it was a...
What does that mean? Hold on. What does that mean when this takes over, first of all? What are you implying? Second of all, if a form of communism was being implemented and everyone's like, okay, let's do it, why not? You know, in a healthy way, art's not disappearing.
Yeah.
So.
Also, I think he means, like, art he likes. And I think I get a whiff of that. I could be wrong. But I think I get a whiff of your type of art.
I wonder if we could go there. Hey, man, do you actually like this?
You point out something I think he would like.
The Rock?
The Rock. You probably like something like V for Vendetta.
Oh.
If I had to guess. I could be wrong.
Who?
Matt Hunter.
He's saving a European nation.
I didn't mean racial.
You're damn right. No, it's too late. That's what he meant.
I just meant the art style. The style.
You mean the Guy Fawkes Max is purely white? Is that what you mean?
Well,
I'm just joshing.
It's not a gritty cinematography
Go ahead.
and all of that.
Try to save yourself. Come on.
It's like a bright dark. You know what I mean?
I'm just kidding. I hear you. I do.
Where'd I go? Ruben Garcia, the gods of Greek mythology were degenerate psychopaths. Notice how much of Western culture revolves around them. Japan has now appropriated them as well. I did not know that. I think they like to put a lot more emphasis on if you're the most brutal, you're the best guy. I don't know much about them, to be honest with you, but I'm sure they had a thing about warriors, like that was the thing, and women being extra feminine and goddess of love. Oh yes, it's a woman, of course, because women are feminine.
I would just call it misreading it.
And Zeus is like,
But
I'm dead.
Possibly. Yeah. It's like, oh, you're a bitch. Now what? Slap you.
I like all type of characters because they tell a story about the archetypes of human beings, I would say. No matter your race or anything like that.
Anything shallow like that, you know.
Even if the person purposely didn't write it as like some metaphor, they're still like, I'm gonna make believe something up, and then like, something internal is talking through their imagination, which is talking through their hand, which is talking through the pencil, which is talking on the paper.
Think you're slick?
There's some sort of chain. There's a kinetic chain of spirituality. I should coin that, but I might have stole it from Joseph Campbell.
He tells his shirt, right? Alright, he's like... Shut up.
Scuff World Order says Jesus' whole message is about the interests of the poor superseding those of the rich, and the need for the poor to throw off that oppression and inherit the world. Marx said we have a world to win.
Oh boy. You read that wrong.
I hate fucking YouTube blocking comments.
Yeah, it's annoying.
It bothers me. Because someone's probably like, where's my comment at? And I'm so far away from it, you don't get to it. Yeah, I don't. It's less about finances. It's about. I think you care more about people getting distracted by finances. Like, heaven's right here. What the fuck you doing? You're focusing on your like petty like taxes or debts or how to make money and all this shit. And it's like, right. It's like, dude, I just cured a blind guy. What are you doing? I gotta make money. It's like, I just cured a blind. Isn't that crazy to you? Shouldn't that be like, what the fuck? Hey guys, I'm walking on water over here. Shouldn't that be like, what the fuck? I'm going based on the real story because he's going off the real story. Like, taking the story as a real thing.
Gotcha.
It's like, you're worried about money exchanges when I'm like, walking on water?
And the other thing is this, I mean...
Even if a great evil hit you, it's like, fuck, this super dark demon being exists. Shouldn't that mean there's a good thing out there? So it's like, your world should open up beyond just face buried in gold or whatever bullshit.
And then there's like...
That's why I think it's a metaphor for something like that.
What I criticize, we in the past videos, what we used to criticize atheists, or it just hasn't come up, atheists or fundamentalists when they read it literally.
Yeah.
It's like, see, he only cares about the poor, not the rich, or anybody in the middle. It's like, yeah, you're gonna miss everything else here if you're gonna read it like that. Like, what's really going on here? What do you think he means by the meek will inherit the earth?
Yeah.
The poor will take over. They'll vote in their demographics. Yes. It's like, you think that fucking shit went, whatever fucking message was there, it just went like right over your head,
I think it's a metaphor for, I would say, like, ego content. If you're just, it's almost like the way Tessarian talks about just food for thought, where it's like, oh, that's interesting. You're just gobbling it up. So, it's like, oh, you have so much all this shit. All this information is blocking you from your own imagination.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe.
Hey.
Could be wrong about that.
How can you, if you look at like the context of walking on water, it's like,
Yeah.
Or the idea of like, my word is the weapon, an imagery of him having a sword in his mouth.
Yeah.
Oh no, he's some sort of super ninja assassin. It's like, you sure that's it, or is it something else?
I just want to clear it. It's like Jesus being annoyed with frivolous thought when there's so much depth out there. Just like a rich dude frivolously spending, I have a yacht, I have 10 yachts, I have 10 mansions. Meanwhile, this person's like, I have food to eat, I get to live another day. It's like, oh, those are two different experiences, aren't they? Anyways. Ruben says, Zeus kidnapped a boy called Ganymede to make him his personal gay sex slave. Jesus Christ. Zeus ain't playing, son.
I didn't say there wasn't fucked up shit in there,
Was Zeus on the Lolita Express? Was he?
Yo, is that a lightning rod?
Let me see that flight manifest.
Yeah, watch.
It says Z.
No, there's a lightning bolt wherever he fucking. It's like, fuck.
Can't hide from these hoes, man. They follow me
No,
everywhere. They know where I'm at.
You can't hide from these holes.
Go back up, Zeus. Back up.
Like this.
Too close to the table.
Not this. It's like this.
Use that ass like that.
It's like, Crowder, that's your boy.
Yeah.
That's gonna defend you. Back up.
Dubster Brian. No, it isn't. The New Testament says the meek will inherit the earth. What does meek mean? believe meek means like innocent. That's how I understand it.
Then we could look at the Old Testament as well as the Gospel.
I want
of
no trouble
Thomas.
over here.
The Old Testament.
Yeah.
How come there's books left out? What's going on here? You ever hear the Gospel of Thomas? What's in there? But I would assume that
Muslims
there's a certain group of people that do not want you to read, huh?
Like Muslims are hearing about that before Christians are, because Christians just call it heretical. Like, oh, just devil's work. Don't read it. Muslims are like, we like Jesus too. I'll read it, but we don't like we believe in Jesus too, just not the Jesus in your Bible. Alright. Manager, why should the interests of the poor supersede the interests of the rich? Because it makes you feel warm and fuzzy inside. Well, I already explained I considered it like a metaphor. First of all.
Oh boy.
But I think Jesus would move toward, like, what would be a good metaphor for this? Whichever way the seesaw is tilting, he's going to flow in that direction. Think of a ball on a seesaw. You're just going to like, oh, that's where the most suffering is. I roll towards that. Okay, these guys are better now. They look worse. Oh,
Most
okay, I
apparent.
roll towards it. Yeah. If you're going to go with like a literal reading of Jesus.
Well, there's the man in the mansion murdering himself, not literally, but figuratively, right? And then there's the guy who could be the same way, but he's like starving on the street. He's about to physically die. So it's like, okay, they're both in trouble. They both could use some help. But right now I'm going to take care of the guy that's probably might die within a day or two, you know, that type of shit.
Plus, I would say he cares about all of them. And
you can't care about one select group of people and not care about anything else, you know, or not care about anybody else. Then it's an actual care. It's like this. It's like you care about your family and nobody else. I love my family. They're not my family. I don't care about them. I only care about my family. What a narcissistic way. Lack of fucking, care. It's like, oh, you don't really care about them. You only care about them in a shallow way because of your own blood. What a silly, childish, fuck out of here. A childish viewpoint of what care is. Fuck out of here. They're on my team. That's why I care. Not because of the people. Not because of what kind of people that they are, or whatever have you, or what kind of people they could be, individuals that they could be. No. It's because they we were all born from the same mom. That's why. We have the same blood. We're the same race. We're from the same land.
You like blood tests
Dumb.
and shit.
It's dumb. Stupid.
It's blood stupid. Pressure is this. They got that too. All right.
Get my point?
Yeah.
So it's like,
I get it.
yeah.
I don't know if they do.
It's literally like the logic. It's that kind of logic is like a 3-year-old running up to me, and fucking behind him. I saw you fucking stick your hand in a cookie jar. Are you lying to me right now? I saw you do it. No, I didn't. I'm gonna spank you now. That's what this is.
Don't let Stefan hear that. Okay.
Figuratively.
You will get defooed in a second.
Oh, fuck out of here.
You will be defooed.
Figuratively.
All right, let me move on.
It's like I couldn't. It's like that reminds me of that one week where I couldn't say spaghetti.
Let me move on.
Spaghetti.
Dumpster Brian.
Spaghetti.
How'd you like the Federal Reserve video? I hope they gave some insight. All right, the one you sent me, I watched it, and that shit seems complicated.
Which one?
It's like the hidden secrets of money.
You gotta check out Corbett.
I did. After I watched that one, I went back and I watched Century of Enslavement, James Corbett's documentary on the Federal Reserve. I think it's his most viewed video. It might be 2.7 million views.
Pound for pound?
2.7 million views. That might be his most viewed. And he actually used the clip.
Go ahead.
He actually used the clip from the video you sent me.
Yeah. I mean, I thought it was the how big oil conquered the world.
That's the one you sent him, right? You sent that?
I sent him a bunch of shit.
Ah.
Well, that was for anybody.
But he sent me that one on the Federal Reserve.
Yeah.
And it's like, and like there's little concepts I understand here and there. So it's like the Federal Reserve prints money that has no backing to it. Nowadays, I think it's less printing. It's more of just digital currency. They just say, you have this in your bank account. It's just a digital number on a screen, basically.
In a way, it's like
rather than backed by anything.
It's like this is backed by nothing. It's pure fantasy.
Yeah, and then they loan it out.
Yeah,
and charge you interest to pay back nothing.
That's why people say it's a scam, and I'm like, I can see why you're
100% scam. Yeah.
Yeah.
We give you something that has no value, and you pay us back, but with interest. So like,
which is why I can see why people will say capitalism or this system doesn't work or it's a scam. But then you look at at the system for what it really is, and then you see there's add-ons.
Yeah.
And you see, that's a symptom of this place being corrupt. You know.
Yeah.
This group of people being corrupt.
Yeah, Dumpster Brian. If you haven't seen the Corbett one, the Century of Enslavement, right? If you haven't seen that, because he doesn't just go over what the Fed is, he also goes over how it started, all the bankers meeting on Jekyll Island and shit like that. They had a meeting about how to basically rob everyone. So Corbett's
the best. You have a meeting how to fuck over everybody and set the pace for the next 100 years.
I'm going to say this.
How sad is that?
I think James Corbett is the best documentarian I've ever seen. Now, he doesn't go over all the topics I want him to go over, but what he does go over, he's probably the best at it, I think. That's what I think.
It's like when that dude hits when that dude connects with the ball, it just goes out. It's a home run. So
yeah. Even the Epstein video, I think you said you were a little disappointed in it.
Well, no, I knew. Well, I thought his Epstein video is like okay, this is what I got so far type of thing, rather than a documentary or a docu-series, which he said in the beginning of the video. Like, this isn't one of those videos like I've had in the past. Yeah. My Requiem for the Suicided. He said it's not like that, but what I do have is this and that and this and that.
The point is,
it was good.
The point is, his Epstein video was him just willy-nilly just going through shit, and it's better than most people's shit. He didn't even do it like what he normally does with things. Mm-hmm. And he still had more information and more of this, more of that, more links, all the sources, more than anyone else has, really. Yeah. That's going to go over the Epstein story. That's going to do that. He's the best at that shit. Point blank. All right, that's from Matt. Muay Thai, when are you going to watch snuff videos? When you call in, it'll be a snuff video, I assure you, Muay Thai. Ruben Garcia, I think meek means to be mild-mannered. Yeah, innocent, not me.
Innocent, ignorant. There's a whole... But the point is, it's like... I honestly believe it's do the right thing. Help anybody. What's wrong with that? Yeah. Rather than trying to label, he's a socialist. You know what? It's like, who gives a fuck?
Dumpster Brian says, nope, look it up. I think he's talking about the word meek. I still look at it as innocent. Like, Ruben says mild-mannered. I mean, what does that mean? Innocent. To me. Ruben Garcia, Richard Ramirez was a Satanist. He was a serial killer. Yeah, I've heard of him. Richard Ramirez's backstory has a lot of MK Ultra vibes. And I think Cesarian went over him too.
Right.
Not so much, but sort of went over him.
Quiet, gentle, easily imposed on, submissive. Synonyms: patient, long-suffering, forbearing, gentle, quiet, shy, retiring, reverent, peaceful, peaceable, docile, lamb-like, mild. We keep going: modest, humble, lowly, diffident, unassuming, self. Fuck. I don't know how to say that.
I get it. We get the point.
The point is, it's like, that's not the actual definition. That's not actually what it means. It's like, you sure?
Yeah.
We could keep going here,
Jesus Christ. I gotta
Yeah?
start speeding.
Don't take my name in vain, fucker.
Scuff World Order says, I guess when people have more free time, their art will get shittier for some reason.
That's
Nah,
bullshit.
I
That
don't
is
think
bullshit.
That is
It is
Part
bull.
of me thinks it's coordinated. We're like, okay, guys. Let's stop doing this shit. Let's see if they can do it on their own.
I hope you're not saying if people have to work if people don't have to work jobs and they the art will go away or whatever the fuck,
You're just trying to be provocative, Matt
What?
Hunter.
What?
He says film is not art. I'm like, get the fuck out of here.
Hold on. What's art, Matt Hunter? What is art?
Fuck.
Good luck. Good luck with that.
Scuff World Order, Matt Hunter is just an embittered incel.
I don't know.
Muay Thai. Guys, I enjoy snuff videos. Does that make me a bad person?
What's this? What is that?
Might mean you're sick.
What does that mean?
A snuff video
Yeah.
is like someone killing someone on video. I said you can call in. We'll have a snuff video right there. That'll be our first snuff video.
Morbid fascination with snuff videos. Okay.
Not morbid fascination. He just enjoys it. Says Muay Thai.
Oh.
Dubster Brian says it makes you a criminal. Yeah, but then there's social laws and there's like real shit. And just make you like, oh, you're sick.
It reminds me of like, as much as I don't like Sam Cedar, it's like some dude like called in, like they're criminals. So he's like people like like illegal immigrants, or what do you call it? Illegal immigrants or someone trying to say that they're looking for what's the word? I am looking for
asylum
seekers, whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
He's calling them criminals. They shouldn't be here. It's like, sir, have you ever he's like, have you ever been pulled over for speeding? Have you sped? You're a criminal. That shit was so funny. So have you drank? When was your first beer or something? I was 7. You're a criminal.
Yeah.
Send him out. As much as I don't like him, the point he made is like, oh, just because is it against the law, does that make it morally wrong? Like, come on, man.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah. Scuff World Order. The end game of Jesus was the needy being provided for, not literally money. Money is just the instrument we use to accomplish the end. To each according to their need, from each according to their ability. From Marx. I think the real thing is to help anyone that needed help, period.
I agree.
Emotional help. You could be rich and emotionally like distraught, depressed. Scuff World Order says Jesus wanted to feed the poor. Socialism is literally the science of feeding the most mouths possible. There's a passage from the Bible that is almost exactly the same idea, verbatim, as that Marx quote I just posted. Okay. But that'll go to what we were talking about yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, was it yesterday? I think it was yesterday. Why?
So now,
why?
Well, the why.
Yeah.
So it's like, if we get to the why, does that make anything that's relatable socialism or anything like that? No.
Yeah.
Like, so I don't mean this as an insult, but it's somewhat of a simplistic way of looking at that,
Yeah.
See, there's socialism in the Bible. Like, stop.
There's people who are trying to do the right thing that would agree with you, Scuff World or the World Order. There's also people who would disagree with your method but have the same intention.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I keep saying, go back to the meat and potatoes of corruption and ignorance and goodness, if you will. Like, oh, you both mean to do well. Why aren't you working together? Why are you fighting over this?
Because we want the WWF title for ourselves. That's why.
I mean, you need those archetypes too. You need that archetype, like I think Matt would agree with me, the archetype of battling or war or something like that. I don't mean physical war. You can have a war of words. That's probably the healthy version of what we actually do. Why do we have so many shitty things here?
Do you really want to talk about that?
I want to finish some of these comments. Andre, socialism is literally the science of feeding the most mouths possible. So why doesn't it do that?
Well, if we tell you, are you going to listen, or are you just going to... You're probably just not going to listen, so...
Dubster Brian, meek means wicked. The weak and shy or small-voiced, heaven will be for the faithful, while meek get earth with their cowardly father. That's my opinion. According to that book that I do not agree with.
I'm being honest here, dude. I think you totally misread that. Totally. Like,
yeah.
Like, if I see the color red on the wall, I'm taking it as blue, you know? The way it's presented, where it's like, here. If I see white on the wall, I see black. Like the polar opposite. Do you understand? Like, you just fucking read that wrong.
I don't know if he was quoting or...
If that's what he's saying.
He said, that's my opinion. According to that book that I do not agree with. Or that's what he thinks it means, but he doesn't agree with it.
Oh, okay, my bad. But I would say if you're reading it that way, whether you agree with it or not, it's like wrong. I would say it's wrong.
Yeah, I'd be like, hey, God, you're wrong. If God wrote the Bible.
Yeah.
Which he did, but he didn't. He did.
Now, if that's a quote, like did he see, it's tough.
Or it
here, just wait. I'm trying to if he gave a direct quote from this specific thing and then he added on that's evil, like an opinion onto a quote, that means he took he's reading it as he's taking the quote and he's putting his opinion on it, which means he's is it really evil?
Oh, he's translating it a certain way?
Read it again, please. I might have fucked that up. Let me just read it.
Meek means wicked.
Okay.
And now he's going to...
Okay.
The weak and shy or small-voiced. Heaven will be for the faithful, while meek get earth with their cowardly father. That's my opinion, according to that book that I do not agree with.
I could read that a bunch of different ways, dude.
Are you saying you might be talking about something else?
Okay.
You might be talking about. Are you talking about the Talmud? Because he sent me some links for that.
Okay.
That's some other shit.
Misunderstanding.
I could be fucking that up too.
Misunderstanding. I would just need it'd be a lot better for someone to say this exact thing right here. This is what I mean. This is my opinion on it. Okay.
Yeah.
You know, I hate YouTube.
Dubster says the Federal Reserve video I sent you was basically how the gears of banking work. Yeah. Ouch. I still had to hit rewind a couple times. Then I saw it again in the Corbett documentary, and I still don't have it all memorized because economics was something I just never dove into like that.
I tried listening to that during my workout. I was like, oh fuck.
Well, it's like new shit I'm just hearing.
Oh, same. Yeah. Apples.
Scuff World Order. The rich isn't a type of person. It's a system of exploitation. Everyone, as in every person, benefits from a socialistic or Christian or Christ-like, if you will, system of social organization.
That depends how you read it, man. If I say the rich, if someone says the rich will go to heaven and the meek will inherit the earth, what do you think that means?
Yeah.
Do you think that means literally people like the Rothschilds and Soros and the family that owns Walmart? Yeah, they'll go to heaven.
The Waltons.
Yeah, them. Do you think that's what it means? Or do you think it means something else? The rich? Rich would mean what? The definition means, I have a definite amount of
Yeah,
amount of currency. Yes, like
we're mixing interpretations of words around and shit.
That's my problem, man. Like when people like are taking things literally, it's like, okay, now I have to talk to you as if you're like a fundamentalist, taking it as if like as it's literally word for word. This is what it is. It's like, you know, listen, it's Thanksgiving, okay? You're old enough to set the table now. that kind of stuff, you know.
I like the idea of people learning, like some people locked into the social thing of gain more money so I can buy a Mercedes Benz or something. But we do need room for the dreamer types who want to paint art. It's like, oh, you guys just don't understand it. They're the only one that likes their art. You guys don't understand, but they can still fucking survive in the world. You don't have to work retail as an artist. You don't have to create paintings based on what you think other people like in order to sell them, in order to survive and put food in your mouth. So I like both.
You shouldn't have to either. Yeah.
I like both. Guys who think it's just about external stuff, and then they start learning the other ways. Like, oh, okay. Like, what do I feel about things? What do I want from things? Yeah, different archetypes. I like it. Matt Hunter, the Nazis argue that free market capitalism damages nations due to international finance and the worldwide economic dominance of disloyal big business. What part of that do you disagree with? And it might not be a question for us, but the Nazis argue that the free market... did the Nazis account for corruption? I doubt they did because of what they did, right? So,
also, I can point to you towards a very reliable source of somebody who has information about who funded Hitler's party. What group of people funded that party?
Nah.
So
he only likes some free market people.
Only some, not all. Okay.
Some companies that are still around today.
Ford.
IBM. Jordan.
It's like it's like this. It's I'm back, motherfucker. Oh no.
Anyways,
don't kill it.
Dubster Brian, I was born in South Carolina. I know the Jekyll Island story. All right. Fuck all these fucking comments. How do I keep up? With a spider chasing me down. Ruben Garcia, the story of Jonah from the Bible is about how he didn't want to listen to God and help the town of Nineveh because of how horrible they were. Johnny Gat made the best video about Jeffrey Epstein 2-part series. Johnny Gat. Yeah. I'll check that out.
Fuck, drawing Kane's gonna be tough, dude.
That dude knows what's up. The spider, that is. I don't know Johnny Gat. I'll check it out. I'm gonna check that shit out right now. I'll have it up on my phone. The story of Jonah from the Bible is about how he didn't want to listen to God and help the town of Nineveh because of how horrible they were. Maybe Jonah was meant to be a champion and he said, fuck that shit. Those guys are assholes.
Or maybe it's the inner conflict of, you should help them. You should help them. No, I won't. They're assholes. Some cartoon shit pulled up.
Vicious E, when I found out Bill Barr's dad got Jeffrey Epstein hired at his university, along with all their connections to the CIA and OSS, I knew we could expect exactly zero amount of justice served. Right? That dude didn't have like a degree or anything, right?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you're hired. It's like, what? There's probably still so much information. I heard about Epstein a long time ago, and I'm still not up to all the information. I just thought, oh, here's another guy who's getting away with some shit. That'll never come up again. And here again, it came out. See how far back we are? Ruben Garcia, snuff videos are murder footage films. That's how far back we are. Scuffle Order, I was making fun of Manhunter, obviously. With more free time to pursue their passion, people would make even better art. I agree. Well, free time plus freedom, right?
Yeah.
Freedom to express themselves or to think certain thoughts, because believe it or not, a lot of these kiddies are conditioned to be like, you don't do this, you can do this, but you can't do this. And that stifles the imagination. It can. Vicious E. Richard Wolff has some great videos on the rise and fall of the USSR and China's steady rise. Soviet Russia's main economic mistake was trying to keep up with the U.S. military. U.S. militarily. I've heard of Richard Wolff. I've heard of him back in the day. I think he's a Marxist or something like that, where he makes arguments for it. Like, you know, what he would consider the real version, not these, he just did this, just take all the rich guy's stuff and share it with everyone. Your house, that's the government.
Like, I'm against anybody, like, okay, majority rules, we're going to have this law in place, you know, taxes. And it's like, well, you see how it's not by choice anymore.
Scuff World Order.
Just saying.
What you're saying about meat and potatoes is actually what Marxism is explicitly all about at its crux. I know labels can be off-putting, but in this case, they do refer to something. The Bible said it's impossible for the rich exploiter oppressors to enter the kingdom of heaven. If you take out rich, you're good.
Well, it's like, I already said it. You know.
Well, it's someone taking advantage of someone else, right? You could be dirt poor, but a husband can take advantage of a wife, and a wife can take advantage of a husband.
Sure.
They can both take advantage of their kid. So it's not financial. But yeah, I think you explained that. Rich doesn't have to mean financial.
I agree, yeah.
Financially. Yeah. Okay, so maybe we're some synchronicity. Oh shit, I'm catching up. So I'm catching up. Now, under art, Schopenhauer said art is an adaptation of the human organism, primarily the male, to help weaker males to compete with the more brutish and physically superior males for sexual mates.
I asked you, unless that's what you think. I'm asking you what art is. You, Matt. You.
So you only like Die Hard movies? That's it?
He likes Superbad. That's art. We're helping the weak beta male.
It's like, boy, you were missing out so much, man. That's the whole like.
Oh, that's such a shallow.
There's a world.
Shallow understanding of what art really is.
It is a world you're missing. Andrew says, think about it. In a world before art, who would get more pussy, Justin Bieber or some 6'5" bricklayer?
Who said that?
Matt Hunter.
Oh no.
And Justin. Now are you gonna have them based on fear and conditioning? If you go back in the day or whatever, if Justin Bieber can go up there and sing some fucking song to these people, and it's acceptable, it's like, come on, son. And just being real. On the surface, the bricklayer, right? But secretly, people behind closed are like, yeah, that guy who can sing sweet melodies in my ear. So Bieber would secretly be getting all the pussy. I guess the bricklayer would get some too. But then I don't know. I'm just saying, like, once they see a step in evolution, not saying Bieber's an evolution from a bricklayer, but it's like, the strong man, like, oh, aesthetics. Here's a strong man who would, I don't know, die for me and my kids. Oh, he's an upgrade. Here's a strong man who would, blah, 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 who would try to protect everyone. He's a hero. Everyone likes him. Oh, that. He's smart. You can sing. You can play an instrument. Like, it goes on and on and on and on. I would say. And then it turns into creativity, man. Scuff world order, something concrete. What? I got lost with that one. Dester Brian, John Adams quote, I fight war and I politic today so my children can enjoy the arts loosely. That is his quote. I gotta go, battery dying. Oh shit, I might have missed him.
Just go to a charger in your wall to sit there.
Peace out, Dubster, if you're out.
Don't
find a
leave.
charger.
Hello. Don't leave us. Don't do it. Don't leave us, no.
Art isn't solely procreation. That's an incredibly cynical and unscientific way of looking at it, actually. Good lord. Well,
sounds
a
like
special brand.
Sounds like my sounds like you know, what do you call it? Like what a mom would say. Oh, good lord. Oh, goodness. Oh my god.
Oh, now they're sniping at each other.
Get 'em.
Ruben Garcia says, we like scraps in our comment
Say it.
section.
Say it. Come on.
We like to smoke. We like the smoke, not to smoke. Anyways, Ruben Garcia, Johnny Gat got his channel banned from YouTube, so he made a new one called Vigilant Intelligence. Okay. So look up Johnny Gat. It's like cartoons and shit. Or video games or something. Got it. Oh, I caught up. Matt Hunter, so what's your example of art in the film Boys in the Hood? Well, we never even went over like what we would consider art, right? Wouldn't it be about expression?
If I were to say the word self-expression first, I have to, break that down and then give you it. In fact, we actually did a video about this very thing, and we criticized Blonde and the Belly of the Beast for saying such things.
Oh, yeah, we did.
So maybe it'd be easier if we just sent you a link.
Or you go look it up.
You can go look it up, yeah.
Because then I gotta find it first. But yeah, it might be John Singleton's way of, I think he's the one who directed it, his way of expressing how he feels and what's going on in a particular part of the world. Things that are supposed to unite people, things that conflict that tears you apart. Very, obviously they go through a structure, literary elements. They need some sort of introduction of characters, personality of characters. And then they have to put them in situations. Then, that type of movie is going to try to make you feel something. So, music plays a role. Like, oh, this should be a intense scene. This should be a cool, calm scene. This should be a tragic scene. This should be this is what people may actually be going through, and we're trying to make you feel that as a viewer. As in, you could be someone who's never been in this type of world and catch a feeling over it.
Mm-hmm.
Expression. Is art poetry in visual form? Actually, maybe music is in visual form. Well, they're both art, right? Music, poetry, and art. But if we're talking about strictly visual, I think they're all the same thing, man. What are you trying to say?
Yes, it's my 34th birthday.
Oh, I thought you were doing a baby.
Nah, that's it. I was gonna draw like happy 34th birthday, and it shows like, let's see Ben, let's see how high you. He actually got shorter. Fuck it, whatever. Like he wakes up in the morning, his wife carefully takes him out of the king size bed, places him down on the ground, like this, like.
I think art takes many forms. I think what you said, like music, poetry, like paintings, drawings, movies, film, all that shit. It's all art. Sports are fucking art. Quite blatantly art.
Mm-hmm.
Some people would even consider life art, if you know how to see it the right way.
You ever see The Other Guys? I'm a peacock. You gotta let me fly. Ooh, expressive. I love it. Stop critiquing me. Like, will I get in trouble if I play that audio?
I don't think so. Andre, by your definition, Ernest Goes to Jail is art. Yeah, it's comedy. Oh, I forgot to add in stand-up. That's an art. That's art form, for sure. Yeah, comedy is an art form.
Are you kidding me? Are you serious? Oh, I forgot. He doesn't know what art is. Yeah, my bad.
Vicious E says, art is not truth. Art is a lie that makes us realize truth. That's sort of like from V for Vendetta.
Mm-hmm.
Artists use lies to tell the truth.
I wouldn't call it concrete, though.
Well, it's a line from the movie. I'm just
I
saying.
get it.
Ruben says, is Rambo art for you?
Is what?
He's asking Matt Hunter, is Rambo art for you? It's like, fuck. Ruben Garcia, Sylvester Stallone was a draft dodger. Are you joking or are you making a Rambo joke? How long is the freaking scene?
3 minutes?
Fucking 3 minutes, dude. I'm gonna lose. Lose fucking track.
In the face of capitalist-driven isolation, much like the work of Cindy Sherman.
It's when they critique him.
I took some classes at RISD so I could make fun of these lame artsy douches in my neighborhood. I don't have to lower my voice. Is this man bothering you? Are you actually having sex with this creep?
He's gay, okay?
Oh my god. No, it's when they start snapping.
Everything is fine. Terry's actually leaving now.
Nice toot, sailor.
Where is it?
Whatever.
No.
Scuff World Order, where the disconnect is that there is no such thing as an ethical, neutral way to belong to the rich ruling class. It's the accumulation of wealth itself that is at the root of systemic exploitation. There's definitely a neutral way. Well, what do you mean by ethically neutral? Or do you just mean ethical, neutral way? There's a neutral way, as in you could be born into it.
I found it.
Conditioned. If you're working strictly on conditioning, I consider you a neutral person.
I found it.
Okay, got it.
I don't need you. And when you call me, I'm not coming back. Oh boy, I'm in the top. How outre. I'll burn this bitch down to the ground. Oh, fresh, energetic. Like I love his rawness. Stop critiquing me, okay? I'm a human being. I'm not a piece of art. Yeah, bravo. I'm a peacock flying into a rainbow. Yes. Yes.
See, he's art. Expression.
And that's exactly what Jesus was saying. Okay.
Did you know Jesus was a rapper? Jesus. Yeah. Jesus.
I gotta disagree with that, man.
Jesus being a rapper? I don't know, man. Found some tablets out there, you know?
I think he spoke a lot.
Albums. Sorry.
I think he spoke a lot more in metaphor than, rich ruling class.
Oh,
I think
yeah.
he was pure rebel, man. He's also like a daddy figure. Like he places himself in the daddy figure state, while also the childlike state, which contains the rebel's cause.
It's like, if you're going to read it like that, then you're, it's kind of weird if you criticize the
There's also a mirror.
It's kind of weird if you criticize
wanna
people like fundamentalists, how they read it. You know what I mean? It's like you're missing the bigger picture here.
Well, I think he was also like wanted to be a mirror for you to reflect onto him, which might be why you feel the way you feel.
Project onto me.
Because that's how you feel.
Project onto me. Go ahead.
But Vicious Z, art is a revolt, a protest against this extinction. Andre Moreau. I fucked that up.
I'm not saying this is what they're doing, but
That's not bad. I like that.
I'm not saying this is what they're doing. I'm not saying whoever put that quote down, but it's like, how come I get more quotes of other people saying shit than actually other people telling me what they feel it is?
What?
It's like, if we're trying to like describe something or define something, I get a quote from somebody else.
So?
I don't know. It's like, I'd rather it be a...
What if someone found the words that I want to say?
Then that's fine.
Say it, but they say it better.
That's completely
like,
fine.
Use that.
That's completely fine. I'm just saying.
I don't mind quotes at all.
I don't know. It's like...
Now, if I ask you, how do you feel, and you give me a quote, then I'm still
I think that's what I was gearing
towards. But
towards.
if they're just putting quotes...
That's what I was gearing towards. That's what I was gearing towards, yeah.
Scuff World Order. It's easier for a camel to walk through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to enter the kingdom of heaven. Sure, it's not metaphor. Plus, I would say, go look into the Gospel of Thomas, please. Before I start going over.
I accidentally downloaded it all on my phone.
That's interesting. I like that.
I'll read this later.
Rob B. What is not art? When you're not expressing yourself.
You know what the funny thing is?
The question is, what is self?
Ready?
I'm copying what Jimmy did. Marvel movie.
I'm throwing a tantrum.
I'm joking.
I'm throwing a tantrum. I throw a bunch of paint out my window, and for some reason there's an empty canvas outside on the floor on the street. or on the street, you know, there's an empty canvas on the street, just fucking lands on it. Turns out to be the greatest painting ever by some people's opinion. Oh my god, look at this beautiful piece of art.
That can happen.
So it's like
that can happen because this wasn't supposed to happen, but it happened. That's what makes it valuable
not
art
only
to
that,
them.
it's like, you know, it's like this person who had, there was no care into it. Shit just happened and someone else is seeing it. Oh, look at this thing over here. Wow.
Well, yeah, it's like, wow, life happened, and this painting now exists.
Yeah.
I would say. But yeah, and if you're not, if there's no self-expression, there's no art there.
There we go. See?
I mean, for us, we're looking from the outside, and what we're seeing is our creation of what we, you know, our interpretation of what we see the art as. But the artists themselves, if there's no artist there creating meaning, and there's no art there, that's why anything can be art to a degree. But if there's no meaning-making machine, then there is no art there. You're just a robot.
Come on, man.
That's fucked up. Scuff world order. Accumulation of wealth is the definition of corruption. Well, disagree. What if everyone's taken care of and they have the opportunity to accumulate wealth if they choose to or not? They're like, nah, I'm good with my whatever 2-bedroom place. Yeah, I just asked me and my girlfriend. We just chill there. I like that life. I play in a cover band on the weekends. Just chill out all week. I play frisbee all week. Fuck it. But there's some other dude who has 10 mansions. Yeah. As long as you're not ruining the planet while you do it. It's like, who cares? It's like, okay. Yeah. But yeah, the definition of corruption would be something of empty action, which could be the accumulation of wealth. I mean, really empty action. I don't mean just, if you're let's say you're insecure and you want to gather more and more shit up, because, for self-esteem purposes, that's still not an empty action. There's still at least anxiety there. You're hanging on by a thread with anxiety, but you're still hanging on. But if it's just cold-blooded, I want this because I don't want that person to have it. It's like, or the game for the sake of accumulating for the sake of accumulating with no expression or feeling behind it, just because that's what I do. I'm a functioning robot. You're not really there. No one's home there. You are just a function in the universe. You're Agent Smith. I fulfill a function. Without purpose, I must accumulate. Anyways. Hunter, how would you differentiate aesthetics from art? Or would you? Aesthetics is just a thing you see visually, and art is the meaning behind it. Without the meaning, no art. Even though people would probably define aesthetics as something that's beautiful or something like that. I just say the way something looks. That's how I define it personally. Ruben Garcia, Sylvester Stallone ditched the draft. I don't remember for what. It might have been the real Vietnam War, just like John Wayne. Can you imagine that? Sylvester Stallone made all this money portraying a soldier from the Vietnam War. Meanwhile, in real life, he dodged the Vietnam War.
Hey, fuck that. I ain't doing that. I'd go to jail. Fuck that. James.
I think there's a bit of some meaning in First Blood, right? That they were manipulating him and using him and shit, right?
Yeah.
And he went crazy on him.
That dude has some of the biggest PTSD thing I've ever seen. He's like, it's like, That's Opie and Anthony's fault for making me laugh.
Hunter, so you believe even more Americans should have fought in Vietnam War? Got it. No, I think he's just saying something. I think he's pointing out an idea of possible hypocrisy. But I can also smell your sarcasm. Whatever. Scuffle order. A person that is born into wealth maintains that wealth through the continuation of the exploitive system. I love the Gospel of Thomas, but it's been a while since I read it. I'm sure there's more communist shit in the books that were censored out.
Oh, stop
of the
it.
Bible.
Stop
yeah,
it.
Stop it. Stop. Man, Hunter, so art is someone saying, don't look that way, look this way, notice me, I have something important to say. I just said meaning. Right?
You know, at this point, I think you should
have content.
Yeah.
I apply meaning to it. It's like, fuck, look at the way those bottles are lined up. It almost makes this type of shit. Like, you're creating art. Like, that means something. I'm seeing something here. You might be a photographer, but I need to capture that.
I think you should know by now. It's just...
yeah.
Orange, apple. It's like... Tomato. Watermelon. It's like, fuck. I tried.
Scuff World Order. That other dude can't enjoy those excess luxuries without exploiting the labor of others, i.e. slavery. Slavery is destroying generations of people's potentials, not to mention the planet literally. Economic slavery.
Who?
Economic slavery. Gotcha. Yeah, you're thinking in this world's terms. I just made up a world and said, like, that proves it wrong immediately. But if first of all, you're going to have to prove to me the limits and possibilities of this world first. You're going to have to prove those to me before you can say there can't be a guy who just wants to lounge around in his 2-bedroom apartment and be like, I'm okay with this. I'm fine. I'm taken care of. I have food to survive and all that shit. And there's some dude with 10 mansions who's just chilling.
That's his dad, by the way. That's his dad. Yeah.
Don't give your shit away.
What do you mean?
Don't give it away. You gave away too many clues already.
The carvings?
Yeah.
I mean, this is a carving, believe it or not. It is.
So, yeah. Once again, if you think of the limits of this world, you may have a point, but you're going to have to prove those limits. I haven't seen anybody try yet. We've been too busy fighting each other. Hunter, emoji. Ruben Garcia putting emojis. Matt Hunter, romantic art equals life is beautiful, spiritual. Yeah, you could say, like, looking on the bright side would be romantic. Doesn't always mean, gushy love stuff. It could be, I don't know, life will get better. Just beautiful, the beauty of life, turning life magical. Scuff World Order. To be rich, you have to fuck over a whole class of permanently subjugated people. In this world, maybe.
Well, think
might
like
be
this.
Wrong about that.
Like, being rich. Like, if you're rich...
Who told you had limits on shit?
If you're rich and there's poor people, and you don't take a step back and think, is this any way lopsided? Then it's like, oh, okay. The situation I'm currently in, As opposed to, well, everything's okay. Everything's fine. But I have an abundance of this thing over here. Then what's the problem?
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that. No.
And you'd have to prove to me that shit couldn't be done in different. Let's say you make houses out of this material that we haven't quite discovered yet, but we also found this bug in the Amazon that eats this material. So when we're done, like, I'm done with this house, this bug just eats it and shits out, brand new materials. It's just, I don't know. Just making shit up. I'm just saying, nobody tried, right? If we actually sat down as a planet and said, let's fucking do the best possible shit we can possibly fucking do.
Huh.
With no fucking corruption, period. Never been done. Matt says, modern art equals life is cruel and unfair. Could be. Is that how they feel? If they're just lying, then if they really feel that way and they put out happy sunshiny everywhere, isn't that a problem? Wouldn't that be a problem?
It's like that. There could be a little debate right there.
What?
What is art? Call in if you dare.
He says postmodern art, life is cruel and unfair because of capitalism and Western culture. Do they feel that way? Scuff World Order. The reason there are poor people is because all the wealth is being appropriated and concentrated in the rich's bank accounts.
I say it's corruption, but
yeah. Wait, so we agree capitalism is a fantasy? It's an idea. Does an idea constitute a fantasy?
it's like I'm looking for like a picture, and I feel bad because it's like, jeez.
What the fuck is that?
It's like, what the?
This can't be real. How dare they?
I feel like a dick, man. Oh.
Mark's already figured it out, but goes against the moneyed interests, so it's not allowed to happen. Yeah, did he fight corruption, though? Did he make corruption the foremost important issue to deal with? Because you can all agree on something, but one guy's like, I'm screwing over everybody when no one's looking. Because people just don't like that motherfucker.
Hey, man. That's what happens.
Appropriating the wealth created by the working class is the corruption. There's more corruption than that. How about a husband agreeing to a marriage but cheating on his wife? How about neighbors talking shit behind each other's backs? You don't think those accumulate into something? There's a whole bunch of different type of corruption. I'm talking about wiping all of it out. Not that talking, I don't think talking shit behind, I was just saying bad things, but you know what I mean. Real immoral shit. No. Scuffed, you're gonna give me that fucking zeitgeist answer. It's not gonna work here.
Do you remember that?
You're gonna give me the...
Remember that video?
There's no poor people. They won't have any need to rob. They don't need to rob. They'll be nicer to each other. Then you're calling us robots, and you're denying art itself, which is real expression, right? There is no real expression without a real someone really expressing it. But if I'm dictated by my environment, then I'm not really there. Thus, there is no art.
And there's no you.
That's the fundamental systemic corruption, though. The first step to eliminating the corruption you're talking about. And that's the most glaring one. But the first step is a person owning their own shit to themselves. Then forgiving themselves for all that shit they have. And then working on themselves. They're like, I'm never doing that shit again. I'm going to do better. And on and on and on. and you can recognize yourself and other people in a way. Not super collectivist, but, you know, oh, I have happiness and they must have happiness too. How can we both be happy? Alright, so you're not saying there's like I should. What are you saying? Are you saying getting rid of the elephant in the room? Like there he is, Mr. Moneybags, running away. With bags of money in his hand. He just stole, he's running away, look.
He's like running away, like he's wearing this shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, Monopoly, man.
That shit. Just running away. Fuck the Monopoly, man. Fuck it. You're going to jail. Shit.
Yeah, I got nowhere. I'll end up doing a separate video. Fuck it. Of Crowder.
Yeah, do it.
Of Crowder and shit. No, I mean like a separate video. This Jesus shit. I get too caught up, man. I want to read the comments.
That's the difference between us and them.
ADD.
We're live. No, you're not. We'll listen to you. You turn off the comments.
I leave one comment in the comment section, so it makes you think I'm actually there talking to you guys. Even though all my comment says is, go to my mug club and buy one. 70% off if you're a veteran.
70% off if you're a veteran. Like,
oh, excuse me, 30% off. Yeah, I'm probably gonna peace out soon. Later, Viciously. He says, hey, this was more fun than I reckon coming in. I'll catch you folks next time. We're usually live every Friday, or try to go live every Friday. Weekends will be like UFC or boxing or whatever, sports, dunk contests, World Series maybe. Who knows? Baseball might be too boring for everyone, but watching it anyways. Alright, so peace out, Viciously. Scuff says, fixing corruption at an individual basis doesn't address systemic corruption. They are two separate things. You can do both, but only changing the system addresses the systemic problem. Yeah. I get that, but if there's no corrupt individuals, how can the system be corrupt? Right?
See.
Even if there was a guy, let's say all the individual people they can't be corrupted, right? They're incorruptible. And we take the system we have now, and there's some Jeff Bezos guy, some guy comes up with an idea that everyone likes, and they all use his shit. Fuck, I like this thing, this Amazon thing, I really like it. And he just starts accumulating shitloads of money. He's like, fuck, I don't need all this money. I can give it back to everyone else.
Exactly.
I don't need a law to tell me to do it. I can just be like, because as soon as I give it away, I make $1 million the next day. I just keep giving fucking money away. And then people, I don't know if they'll build statues, but they'll be like, fuck, that's Jeff Bezos.
I'll name you my firstborn son, Bezos.
Everyone's going to be like, fuck, that's that guy, Jeff Bezos, man. It's like, yeah, man, I'm homeless, man. I don't live anywhere. I just give my money away.
In the year 4000.
It's like, yo, man, you're having dinner over here tonight. You sleep in my bed.
Dun, 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 dun. Breaking news. Breaking news. The Pope has announced a new book added to the New Testament. Bezos.
The gospel.
The gospel. Check that.
no corrupt people in a capitalist system is nonsensical. Well, charity still exists in a capitalistic system, does it not? You're allowed to give your money away, aren't you? What if you're like...
It sounds like your logic that we're all robots, man. People will get greedy. They will get corrupt.
I don't like there to be poor people, so I'm investing into making sure no one ever is poor. Now, what if there's not only Jeff Bezos, but there's Bill Gates? What if all of them are doing that? Toward like, I only want like, 5 million. The rest is all you guys. I don't know. You're proposing an individualistic fix. He will fail if he does that, and the system will continue on. How will it fail? Are you going to do what the guys who scream, socialism is evil? You're going to do what they do? Which is they say, well, human nature, right? They can't give you an actual legit reason for why things fuck up, so they end up relying on human nature, which I hope you're not doing.
We shall see.
Charity is an individual altruism that does not challenge the system. Why not? I just eliminated corruption. There's no war in the world. Governments already have social systems. Okay, let's say we go pure capitalism. Pure capitalism. Government wouldn't have control over any money, right? Right?
You asking me?
Yeah. Bezos would go broke? Why is that? Are you saying he has to spend money to keep his business?
This is why.
What if people are like, fuck, I'll support Bezos.
This is why I want the bear here.
Hey, yeah, Bezos is giving all his money away. I'm going to use my money to buy a fucking fridge from Amazon. I'm going to use mine to buy this from Amazon. Or wherever in all these companies.
All right. Well, here's a definition. Pure capitalism is an economic system in which individuals own productive resources, and those individuals can use resources in whatever manner. My fucking site, the site crashed.
It's not going to help me right now. I don't even want to hear it right now. I want to hear
Too bad.
These comments. If he gives his wealth away,
bitch.
If he gives his health away, his wealth, if he gives his wealth away, and he only makes that wealth by running slave labor shops, nah. Would it be slave labor if he said, I'm going to pay all my workers for your, like, how much money does he have? Like $180 billion or more, right?
I don't know.
What if he said, I'm going to make less and make sure all my workers are rich like me?
I don't know.
Or make more than enough to live in, like, a really nice place and all that shit. Structurally nice, because there's no corruption, remember? They're not, like, running away from bad neighborhoods. Like, just a structurally, like, nicer place. Or, like, oh, I live by myself, so I just go in an apartment. Or, oh, I have a family, so I have, like, a normal house, suburban house. Or I have a really big family, so I have an even bigger house. Because there's no, corruption around, People are making, decisions that to help everyone out, make sure everyone's okay. It'd almost be like the system you are imagining, right? You're imagining as communism or socialism or whatever. It's almost like that system without anyone writing it down on paper. Like, oh, we're all looking out for each other. Read Marx's explanation of capitalism seriously. I'll give it a shot. If it's a long book, I'm fucking lazy. Just trust me, okay? I'm right. Trust me, I'm right on this. Corruption, my friend. Corruption first, then system. Alright. I do enjoy the discussion, but that is it for me. I'm done
Pussy.
live streaming.
Pussy.
I'm running away
Pussy.
right now.
Run away, tap out. Little bitch that you
I
are.
really do like discussion.
Nah, you don't.
I think deep down we both agree, Scuffed. We both agree on
Stone Cold doesn't.
what we want. different methods of getting there. And you know, maybe one day we'll find out who's right. I'm right though. We'll find out who's right, but I'm right. Trust me. Trust me. Scuff says if he pays his people back, he will make very small or no profits, and Amazon will fail to compete with the other companies that will not do that. I just said we live in there's no corruption. No corruption. Zero corruption.
Like, are you living to live?
Greed? Gone. No greed.
Are you living to live or to survive?
Except good greed. Sometimes, you know, if you're with your wife, you want seconds. It's okay to be greedy about that.
Or you want that motherfucking belt.
With their permission.
You want that belt. Give the belt.
The Communist Manifesto is really short. We're basically, retract it. I'll check it out. Communist Manifesto by Marx. Or I can watch a bunch of lectures. I like those better. I like lectures talking about it. I can get into Richard Wolff and read his shit. Or listen to him talk about it. I like hearing people talk about it. So I can hear, like, oh, how much do they care? How much have they studied this? I like hearing that. Capitalism can't hold itself up without corruption and greed. I disagree with that. I think you're taking human nature into account. Meanwhile, it's not actually human nature. It's humans' conditioned nature at this particular period of time. But all right. I'm sure we agree on the main part, which is we want the world to be a better place.
Run away.
And I'll check out Communist Manifesto, and I'll watch some Richard Wolff shit. But that is it for me. I'm tired.
Pussy.
I'm tired. Okay. And once again, I do enjoy the discussion. Scuffed. Put up an argument, man. Even tied Jesus in. I like it. I like it.
You did better than most.
Yeah. Well, if someone like, I think Scuff's core motive is like, how do we make the world a better place?
I'm down, yeah.
And he or she, I don't want to say, I don't know which one, but Scuff got locked on to like this thing, and this is the journey Scuff took, and these are the information Scuff's heard and all that shit, and it's like, all right, that thing's the fucked up thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I don't mind people going that direction, man. As long as we do it with words. Okay. Then I will look into that. Scuff says it's not human nature, it's the mechanisms of the capitalist economy. I'll look into that. I have heard that before, but I think it was mainly from Zeitgeist. And they're when you break them down, it comes down to human nature. And then you have Jacques Fresco saying, there's no free will. There is no this, there is no that. And I'm like, and you give 4 reasons why. Maybe that's my conditioning. But yeah, I'll check it out. I'll look into it. It's what I do. And with all that said, alright, that's it from us. Please subscribe if you feel like, if you made it this far. People, Crowder fans, like, you didn't even talk about them. Sorry, Crowder fans.
Just do one tomorrow.
Subscribe anyways.
Do a video tomorrow.
Yeah, I might I'm probably going to do a normal upload video rather than a live one. Because I always get thrown out. I want to read the comment. Yeah. You heard this story before. Comment. Agree, disagree. Video requests. We take video requests. We look into shit. Donate. Devon's Journey to Recovery. You're not donating to us. You're donating to someone else. Pyramid 7, who was in this chat tonight. His wife. had medical issues and they need help paying medical bills because the ACA sucks balls. We don't have free healthcare in this country, or Medicare for all, free. You know. But yeah, please donate. Devon's Journey to Recovery. The GoFundMe link is down there, description box. Not my dick, description box. That way. And with all that said, give this video a thumbs down. Peace out.
Say you wanna get in, and then you wanna get out. When you get the money to buy.
We pick our topics randomly, really. It's just whatever we feel like talking about. Just so you know. Peace out, Rob. Peace out. Peace out, Scuffed. Scuffed World Order. And give this video. Sorry, Rob. We're gonna do it anyways. Give this video a thumbs down. Yeah.
Say you wanna get in, and then you wanna get out. When you get the money to buy yourself a car, so how will you wear your leisure? You zipper back and front on the fence together. Weekends and